You are now listening to WMG Podcast, Building and Cultivating Excellence. Thank you.
Heroes, villains, a tale as old as time, and the never-ending battle to protect truth and justice from those who thrive on chaos and bloodshed. Come with us as we peel back the mask on your beloved Crusaders of Light and dive deep into the dark and twisted abyss of your most feared and hated harbingers of doom. Follow your host, Power Maximus, and everyone's favorite demigod, Lord Triage, as they take a trip down the rabbit hole that is everything super. So, are you a hero or a villain? Either way, find that super suit and suit up for the Super Breakdown.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it again. Another episode of the Super Breakdown. You already know what it is. I'm your host, Power Maximus, and we are here with the one, the only, everyone's favorite demigod. Tell him who it is.
Lord Triage.
All right, we got a special guest with us too. He's not going to be interjecting too much, but we're here with the one, the only Jag. He is the Power Rangers specialist on this one. So anytime we fuck up and get something wrong, he gonna yell at us and make a weird noise and let us know that we fucked something up. This man knows about all the way back from the beginning. All the way back from the beginning, this man knows all from the start of it all. You know, from the Sentai Rangers all the way up to the American and even on the new shitty stuff that they have out right now. So yes, if you haven't guessed it from looking at the background on the video, today it's Morphin time. We're talking about the one, the only, the original American Rangers, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Lord Triage.
Yes,
brother,
sir.
take us down the rabbit hole.
So I'm not sure what it means to you, but to me as a kid, watching them, I'm not gonna lie, it was a real big part of my childhood. I think if you grew up in the 90s, if you lying if you say otherwise.
I agree, man. It was the same thing for me. It gave me a lot of inspiration, a lot of it's gonna sound corny for me to say this, but it really gave me a lot of courage. I was bullied a lot in school, and it gave me the strength to like really stand up to these bullies and put my foot down. It got me into mixed martial arts, and just really training myself and starting to stick up for the little guys, stick up for the underdogs, the people that couldn't fend for themselves. I'm not out there in bright colored spandex fighting monsters, but I feel like I do a damn good job where I am now.
We all know it's armor.
What did it mean? What did it mean for you?
For me, honestly, it was showing that so much with diversity and general level of cool, honestly, in high school students.
I feel that because you gotta see. For me and you, we're in a bit of a different age range. For me, I didn't start catching on to Rangers until I can't even remember when. I know like my birthday was in like the second season of Power Rangers. So I was born in the second season of Power Rangers. So I wasn't watching Rangers until like I believe until after, Evil Green came along. So for a while there, like I didn't know about, that he wasn't originally a part of it. I didn't know any of that. I
Yeah,
thought I thought that he was always it. Of course, I watched episodes when he beat their ass and everything like that. But for me, that was really it. I didn't
still.
really start, yeah, I didn't really start diving into like the episodes before the Green Ranger came along, where I started to see, oh wow, there was just these five, and there was one, rocking shit for a while, until Tommy came along and beat their ass. I just want to make that a point. Tommy came along and beat their ass.
Still
But
one of the most gangster moments in television history.
this man knocked them out. The word Jag, he knocked them out. They Zord. We had never seen that in America, at least. I don't know if they did it in Sentai at all. They probably did it quite a few times in Sentai, because Sentai was kind of dark.
Machine guns.
Yeah, they had like they was really murking people out when back in Sentai. But we had never really seen the Rangers lose until the Green Ranger came along. So that really that's where the time frame for me for it was for me. But I definitely it's sharing that. It definitely gave a sense of cool, like hiya. But they have a long history just in general.
30 years.
A whole 30 years in general of Power Rangers content in America. We're about to hit 30 years coming up real soon. But let's just break it down real quick. So when we first get introduced to the Rangers, we're introduced to Zordon, who is this otherworldly being from the planet Eltar.
Yes.
And he comes to Earth. He's kind of like the protector of Earth. And then we get to see Rita Repulsa gets unleashed after, what was it, 10,000 years.
10,000 years.
Time to conquer Earth.
Freed by two random ass astronauts. I hope both of them got fired.
They definitely had to get fired, if not got killed. And I just want to let you know, not one of them motherfuckers was a black man.
In that episode. They're the one that got
Oh,
put in the jar.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, they got put in the jar. Yeah, they got put in a jar.
Houston, we have a problem.
I bet you not one of them motherfuckers was black either. They was definitely not black. Definitely not black. A black astronaut get up there, see a random thing on the moon. We are not touching it.
All right, well, we're going to open this and see what's inside of it.
No. In the that was before Independence Day, right? That was before. That was
93 definitely was.
Yeah, it was like a year. Like, when did Independence Day come out? It came out in what, 96
or 7, I want to say.
Yeah, but still, like, we already knew we ain't opening nothing. Houston, I see some. Go check it out. Nope.
So, nigga, you check it out.
Why don't you come up here and check it out? I ain't checking this shit out. But yeah, so Rita gets released. Zordon and Alpha freak the fuck out, and for some reason, Zordon's first thought is, give me 5 emotionally unstable, courageous teenagers that all look like they're about to hit their 30s.
Oh my God. Oh, almost spilled my beer. Oh,
oh dude, bro, like, for some damn reason, that was his first thought. I mean, we're the kids of America type shit. Like, so who we got? Go through the roster for us real quick. The original 5.
okay. So the 5 chosen teens are the jock Jason Lee Scott. We have the cheerleader Kimberly Hart. My main man Zach Taylor, who was my probably favorite out of the group for obvious reasons.
Uh-huh.
We have Trini Kwan, and then we have Billy Cranston.
Yep. So, remind me, what was Trini's kind of thing? Because, like I said, Jason was a jock, Billy was the nerd, Kimberly was the was a cheerleader,
Gymnast. She was
gymnast. Yep. Thank you. Trini was a gymnast.
I don't know.
So, as we know, Billy was the brains of the group. He was the genius.
Mm-hmm. Who never really seemed to fit in.
Trini walked the line to me because I always took her as the perfect balance between Billy's brains and Kimberly's agility.
Yeah.
And then she had Jason's fighting skills. So she was a good balance of all of them to me, as weird as it sounds.
Actually, it's actually not that weird that you say that, especially for those who read Shattered Grid and know the story of that of Lord Draken's world's Trini. It makes a lot of sense. And I really feel like the comic books, at least that comic book in particular, I haven't really got a chance to go through the other ones, but that one in particular really dives into Trini and her character and her abilities. But now we got these 5 teens that Zordon bestows this power onto them. Says, "Hey, listen, I just kidnapped y'all from wherever y'all was, and y'all gonna work for me now."
Oh my God! It was not. Well, it was that, but it wasn't. It wasn't that. So,
what was it? It can't be and not be at the same time. It's not fucking Schrodinger's cat.
So let's
teenagers and force them to work for him.
And no, see what happened was after this incident happened and they were leaving the command center after they said, "Bump this, we're not doing this. We might be quote unquote Rangers, but I'm getting out of here." Everything was sweet until they got attacked by the putties.
Mm-hmm.
Then the putties had to find out that these niggas was with the shits.
Mm-hmm. Damn, them poor goddamn putties. Because I'm just really thinking about it. They had no business being there. They had no choice but to be there. They're only the putties were the equivalent of Mr. Meeseeks.
Oh my God.
They have one goal.
Cannon fodder.
And it's they had no choice, and they regularly on a rare occasion they get the better of them on a rare occasion.
Only if they were in mass number.
Oh yeah. When they try to go 1-on-1, they got the ass spanked.
They didn't even morph.
Yeah. Even when they weren't morphed, they said they would beat their ass 1-on-1, and then they would get ganged up on. And then they get forced into a corner. They get the Rangers would get their ass beat real quick when they got overwhelmed. And then they'd morph. And then they'd start busting ass again. Until the big monster came. And Rita was on some "make my monster grow" type shit. And now motherfuckers in some alien space megazords that are oddly shaped like ancient animals and dinosaurs. But anyways, yeah, we got.
Well, hold on. Let's not shine past that. So, Jack, and this is me quizzing you. Why was that the case?
I think he's going back to why. Yeah, why were the Zords shaped like those animals in particular? I think that goes back. I think that goes further back. The Morphin Masters, doesn't it?
It's
Yes, it does.
Yeah, because it goes back to the Morphin Masters. Because even I didn't watch Dino Fury, but I got a few clips of it, and they explained what the Morphin Masters did. They essentially imbued the power coins with the animals of that time or whatever, which were dinosaurs. but I like I said, I might be wrong. I only saw a clip of that. Yeah, I only got a clip of that. So tell me, treat me as if I'm a child.
So from what I remember being told from a few conversations that I had with a few of my boys who are Rangers fans, it was supposed to be that the reason why Rita had the gripe that she did is because she was a quote unquote evil sorcerer space witch, as I make my air quotations. But from the material that I got told is that Rita actually had one of her children, I believe it was her son, who was killed by the dinosaurs.
Hold on,
So
Jack
That's
got
Sentai.
something. That's
Sentai. That's the Sentai origins.
right.
Sentai origins.
Okay.
That's what I'm asking because we never got explained in the American version.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Sentai
It did.
origins.
Jack, what's the story with that?
Basically, all in Japan, they're all basically legendary warriors. They're supposed to stop her. They're legendary warriors that got pretty much frozen in time until she came back out. Until she came out with Bandora. That's her name in Japan. Bandora.
Oh, so the Zords were the
Yes.
ancient warriors.
No.
No.
That's what they used. They
Okay.
actually used the actual animals. They used actual animals
To fight her.
To fight her. They just remember the robots.
Oh, so I hope they didn't have a Megazord back then.
No.
I'm just saying because that would look type odd having an actual live T-Rex. Like
the Megazords are actually alive in Japan. They're sentient. Like they actually have emotions.
Yeah, because we see that going forward. If you and a few other seasons of other Rangers where their animal like Lost Galaxy, their Zords were actually sentient animals.
Oh, the Galactic Beast, yes.
Yeah, the Galactic Beast.
Yep.
But that would be. I hope they didn't all combine together at one point back then, because that would be type of weird seeing a T-Rex walk around with a saber-toothed tiger as a foot.
Well,
I'm just thinking about that, like all squishy organs kind of everywhere, and I'm gonna just stop myself while I'm ahead.
Realistic, man. Stop it.
But yeah. So Rita pops out. Time to conquer the world. Zonan says, "All right, I need a new team of Rangers, and I'm gonna need them to, come together and use their powers and their abilities to, the powers of good to stop Rita Repulsa before she takes over the world." So throughout this story now, as it unfolds, we see the Ranger when they finally do choose to take on the mantle of Power Rangers. We see them go through and they're winning. We get introduced to Rita's henchmen. We get Goldar and what's his name? The dude that actually made the monsters. Finster.
Yep. Goldar. I can't remember the other dudes.
Her brother.
It was a baboon squawk.
God bless you. What? But then a little bit later on, we get introduced to her brother, who was like a skeleton or whatever.
Oh, hold on. Don't forget Lord Zed.
Oh, no. I'm saving the best for last.
You're jumping way too.
No. I'm saving the best for last. But yes, and then we also get introduced to Rita's husband, Lord Zed. And I got some juicy information about Lord Zed later on in the show, so y'all be ready for that.
Oh, don't forget about Scorpina too.
Yep. Scorpina, and she actually plays a really strong role in Shattered Grid. Like, we didn't really see her really do too much. Like, she fought the Rangers a couple times, but like when it came to story progression, we didn't really see her too much as like a story set piece. But in Shattered Grid, she has a decently large role to play in all this and everything that happens in Shattered Grid. Now we'll fast forward a little bit. We got the original 5 squad. We got, like I said, you got Jason, Trini, Kimberly, Billy, and Zach. At some point, Rita's getting tired of getting her ass beat. So she decides that, you know what? I think I'm gonna fight fire with fire.
Right.
I'm gonna create my own Power Ranger.
Well, I mean, after the monsters that she repeatedly sent after them, and some of those monsters, in my opinion, were super dope. King Sphinx, the
Yeah.
Nasty Knight, the Eye Guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I like how she gave each one of the Rangers their own villain to face at certain occasions, like Zach having to get attacked on a date, or or fighting the Nasty Knight on his birthday. And I like how when Jason was having issues with his confidence, she sent King Sphinx after him. So I did like the way that was handled in certain aspects.
I most certainly agree. There was a lot of really, really dope villains that they had to fight, and actually quite a few that, if it wasn't for plot armor, quite a few could have ended them.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for plot armor. There's quite a few that they seriously struggled with. But there's one villain that they struggled with the most out of them all. And if you are a Rangers fan, you know who the fuck I'm talking about. The one, the only, the late and great Jason David Frank as Tommy Oliver, the evil Green Ranger, the first in America, the first evil Power Ranger. This idea of an evil Power Ranger is what gave life to the most sickest and illest and monstrous team of evil Rangers, the Psycho Rangers. Like that was just absolutely, like, this Green Ranger, this evil Green Ranger gave life to so many other future characters that we see. So correct me, yeah, and in turn becomes the greatest Ranger of all time. So correct me. So
he's actually the greatest villain too.
Technically, Jag's right. He's technically the greatest villain.
I don't know, man, because like he's got to take that from Lord Zed. He's also,
but he won.
He won.
He did fight Lord Zed and beat Lord Zed's ass.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But now we'll get back to Zed, because Zed got some secrets that I didn't know about until most recently, and I thank you very much for putting me onto that.
Got your back always.
Yeah. These past 2 weeks, I've been learning so much new shit about Power Rangers, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in particular, that I'm really gonna go back and dive into the comic catalog, because there's so much information in those comics that we don't get in the show. Like
if I could,
like the full origins of the Green Ranger.
If I could get an animated series that just explains just that stuff, I'd be golden. Like the whole thing with the shield.
Oh, yep. That I don't think I put you on. I don't think I put you onto that. I ended up finding that myself. I stumbled across that myself on the origins of the shield. I'm gonna touch on that in one. I want to touch on that in one sec. Jag, if you can, give us the show, the American show's origin of the Green Ranger. So, if I remember right off the rip, it was, so Rita in the show, somehow in the show, came across the Green Ranger power coin, and she ended up fusing that and binding that to the an evil green candle. And when it was sparked, it was lit, it would give her host power until the candle burned out. And then that's all the Green Ranger power. It's all gone. So she's trying to find somebody that the power coin will accept, somebody of good and pure heart that the power coin will accept, because apparently the power coins, from what I'm understanding, are innately good. So in order for them to work, they have to be bound to someone who's pure of heart and courageous and blah 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 blah, all that good and corny shit. And so she literally kept abducting people, and it just wasn't working until she stumbles across this one guy walking through an alleyway after martial arts practice, and again kidnaps him. What is up with these other earthly beings with the kidnapping? Is this really just an alien thing? Would you just kidnap humans and do experiments on them and give them powers and shit? That's really what it seems like. All these
wasn't probed.
Whoa!
Do we know that though? We don't know that.
Oh my god! Listen,
but he's right. I mean, I give him that. At least they weren't probed. But again,
who knows
we don't know.
Who knows what Finster was doing in that workshop? Man.
Exactly. He had all that modeling clay. He could have built something, made something up real quick. You know, again, remember these Rangers they're from Japan, so you never know what things Finster could have been making in there. You're absolutely right. So we don't know. That's probably why Tommy was so fucking angry. But it's like I gotta come here, go to this school every damn day just to get off from school, get teleported to some creepy smoky area where this little white gremlin dude decides that he wants to probe me all the goddamn time and mess with my powers. Leave my powers alone. My goodies, goddammit. But anyways, come on, guys, you know this is me. This is how I get. You know it is. So suck it up. But yeah, so she ends up choosing Tommy, and the experiment works. It binds to him, and now she has her own Power Ranger. And from what I've learned is that this is because, and now all Rangers' abilities come from one place, which is called the Morphin Grid. And it kind of like it's a interdimensional kind of like internet in a way that connects all like kind of living beings that have been granted access to it. The power coins are what allow the Rangers to access this Morphin Grid and access the powers that have been assigned to them. The Green Ranger, on the other hand, Rita ended up essentially making a back door into the Morphin Grid. So the Green Ranger's powers connect differently to the Morphin Grid than the regular Rangers, which in turn innately end up making them even stronger. But this is something that I did learn, and this is where the shield comes in. I think you sent me the thing on the shield.
I did.
So I'll let you tell the people about the shield.
So initially, when Rita first established the coin, when Rita first acquired the coin, she was trying to figure out the best way to establish its power and the way to use it. It's never really said, and this is something else I found interesting, whether or not one coin is inherently stronger than another, or if it's the person wielding the power of the coin.
I believe from what we've seen, it's the person who's wielding the power of the coin.
Correct. I mean, we always acknowledge that, like, usually Red is the leader, or in some occasions, whoever the strongest Ranger is, and we're going to touch on that in a minute because we're going to circle back to that. So, when Rita was trying to figure out how to unlock the power of the coin, she actually consulted her mother, who was almost a borderline deity in her own right with her power. And when she was in the process of trying to unlock its secrets, that way she could deem it worthy to a champion, she actually took her mother's essence and sealed it inside the coin. Now, her mother actually, her figure
now,
actually wore
with sealing her mother's.
So
no, go ahead, you got this. You got
okay.
That.
So yeah, when she sealed her inside, her mother actually wore the shield as a form of protection, but she swore to always protect her daughter. So in the essence of doing that, when she forged her mother's essence to the coin, she forged the shield on the Ranger who'd be wearing it. which also inherently made the Rangers stronger, which I thought was interesting.
Mm-hmm. To me, the shield was the first battleizer to me. It was
Yeah, I
essentially,
agree.
it was most definitely the first battleizer we get to see, the first performance enhancing piece of equipment that they get, or at least that we see in the world of the Rangers. So I when you sent me that, I was so damn intrigued with it, because again, that was a tidbit of information that I'd never gotten before. I'd never known about that whatsoever. And even then, on the process of how Rita acquired the coin in the first place was something that was unbeknownst to any of us either. So apparently, if I remember correctly, from what I've seen, is that there was actually someone out there that was a Green Ranger, but he was like ancient, whatever, like the ancient warriors that we were talking about. She actually did battle with him and actually beat him, and that's how she got the power coin.
Yes, sir.
But by beating him, she still wasn't able to access the morphin grid to access the green power, which is why she fused her mother's essence, who her mother was pretty much a morphin god.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how the Green Ranger's coin is able to connect to the morphin grid without, outside of the usual method that they would use. And he essentially has a back door because he's infused with, this essentially morphin god.
So he was destined to be a god from the beginning.
So yeah, it was destined to be a god from the beginning. And we'll touch on that later, because as we all know, the late great Jason David Frank, he as often as he could came to reprise his role as Tommy Oliver, and his most recent reprisal, we see him with what's called a Master Morpher, which ends up allowing him to have access to all of his previous Ranger forms by pretty much getting admin controls to the morphing grid.
And I'm confused, and I understand that they did that. And don't get me wrong, the idea of that is cool, but that bothers the shit out of me.
Why so?
Because one of the things that they always do is this. It's one of the things that they literally say is that once a Ranger, always a Ranger. And I appreciate that whole, you walk the path, you fought the fight. Sort of like, if you're someone who served in the military, once you've taken that oath and you've sworn that you are one of us to the day you die. So I appreciate that. But it's also one of the things like where you see the Rangers and their progression, and then whether the power had to change hands or the source they were using was destroyed, because when the command center was destroyed, the original coins lost their power. And then it's like the whole thing was, okay, if the coins were destroyed along with the morphers, and anyone who tried to re-access that, because we saw that in an episode in space. I can't remember what the title was, but I remember Adam came back.
It was Back in Black, I believe.
Adam came back, yes. Adam came back and tried to use his morpher, and Alpha told him, like, that's extremely dangerous because the originals, they were destroyed. He's like, who's to say what happens to you if you do that? Now, if the power itself, because as we know, power can never be destroyed, it can only be transferred from one form to another. So if the quote unquote power of the dinosaurs just re-entered the morphin grid, and they had to have a new kind of what's the one I'm looking for? Conductor for said power.
Conduit.
Yeah, new conduit, thank you. And then the conduit was the Master Morpher. I'll kind of take that, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like them allowing the past Rangers to morph again kind of takes away from the sacrifices that happen at the end of those seasons like that.
Yeah. But here's the thing. This is what ends up getting me, and this is where, like, because unfortunately, I had the unfortunate pleasure of watching Operation Overdrive.
Never seen it.
Yes, you don't want to, because this is where they introduce Rita and Lord Zed's son.
Oh yes, I've seen
So
the concept art. He looks like a
yeah,
cunt.
yeah. He looks horrible. Um, he nope, 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 nope. We're trying to make this at least a little bit friendly. Um, oh, I was about to say something. But so essentially, so the whole thing with Operation Overdrive, and not to get off the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers for too long here, Operation Overdrive, there's essentially two factions of aliens that are actually fighting each other over, for like dominance of Earth, to take over Earth, and then that's where the Operation Overdrive Rangers come into play, and essentially are trying to stop these two. In this episode, these few episodes of Operation Overdrive, which essentially is like I think two, maybe three episodes of a crossover. And what Lord Zed's son ends up doing, because he's so forgettable, I forgot his name. He ends up coming to Earth and essentially getting these two warring factions to work together to destroy the Rangers. And during one fight, he actually severs their connection to the morphing grid. So this team of Rangers can't morph. At some point in the story, they ended up meeting this godlike being. You know how the Rangers always do. You know, we got Ninjor, we got we got Zordon, and then Zordon's sister. I forget what her name was. Frazio.
Oh yes.
Yep. So we always see them run into these godlike beings that end up giving them some kind of power. So what he ends up doing is he ends up kind of like hacking the morphing grid, and in doing so ends up pulling other Rangers from different times to come and bestowing upon them their original powers. At least for Adam, the black when Adam was the Black Ranger, they brought him back as the Black Ranger. They brought a few other Rangers back. They brought Ninja Storm Blue. They brought back
SPD.
Mystic Red, SPD.
Green, but you can be in red.
Yeah, and I would really at some point like to talk about SPD, because from what we're seeing, the little glimpses we're seeing of this 30th reunion, SPD actually and Mighty Morphin actually are connected.
Well, that's not overly surprising considering the timeline and the fact that they've touched on the fact that all the other Rangers are aware of each other. We've already seen that in the episodes like Forever Red, and then that one Dino Thunder episode where they literally chronologically went through the history of the Power Rangers. So that's not unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. But then we also see in the Dino Thunder SPD crossover that they're, oh wow, you're from the past, you're past Rangers. Well, so all like majority of other Rangers know about the other Rangers.
That came out.
What was that?
And then there's some recent stuff too.
Oh, yep. We see a whole bunch of old Rangers coming back, and we in that one episode I was talking about with what was it? It wasn't Dino Fury. Was it Dino Fury? Yeah, I think it was an episode either Dino Fury or Ninja Steel where we see Austin St. John come back to reprise his role as Jason.
I was very surprised by that.
I was very surprised about that too. I was very surprised that he fit into that suit. We know that motherfucker didn't fit into that goddamn suit. Full well that was not him in that goddamn suit.
Well, he didn't come back for the 30th anniversary though.
Because he's in jail.
Oh my God! Listen, neither did Kimberly. So,
we'll talk about Amy Jo in a moment. But the reason why Austin St. John didn't come back for the 30th anniversary
because they didn't give her enough money.
No. Austin St. John that man's in jail right now for PPP loan fraud. He got caught up in a pyramid scheme and got caught up with fraud. So that man doing time. That man doing time. And it's got to be bad because everybody he in jail with all these motherfuckers. Hey yo,
Hey, at least he
Ain't you
like Cole Bird
what's
person, so
hey, looking at weren't you the Red Ranger? Yeah, you were. Hey, show me some of the moves. Yeah, let me see some of the moves. Do a high kick real quick. Anyway, but I'm just but yeah, so we see that they all kind of know of each other and about each other. We actually even see in this episode of Operation Overdrive, Sky, who in SPD was the Green Ranger. Was it Sky? No. Bridge. So we see Bridge in SPD, who was originally the Green Ranger, who is now the Red Ranger. And he freaks out because he sees Adam. He's like, "Oh my God, you're Mighty Morphin Power Ranger!" So on and so forth. Blah, blah, blah. So they know about each other. They all kind of like know about each other in a way. And I'm really interested to see where they're, because right now they're trying to bridge the gap. They're trying to give us information and bridge the gap between like SPD and everything else that's been going on, because their timeline is fucking everywhere. The Ranger timeline is everywhere. I'm not gonna lie, I forgot where I was going with this. I completely forgot where I was going with this. What was I saying beforehand? Before I got into, oh yeah, the magical spirit dude that ends up hacking into the morphin grid and brings all these past Rangers and future Rangers to this timeline to fight Lord Zed's son, with Adam as their leader, as the Black Ranger. So we've seen this morphing grid get hacked multiple times throughout the Rangers series, and that they're giving their powers back. So from what I was understanding is that the powers are always there. They're always in the morphing grid, but they need a conduit in order to access the morphing grid. So what I'm thinking is Zordon. Well, with the command center being destroyed, the power coins being destroyed, there goes that conduit. And now the only ones that are powerful enough to create a power coin in that sense, or a conduit to access the morphing grid, are the morphing gods. So what I'm seeing it is like at that point they didn't have the power to remake the coins. So at that point, no one had seen a morphing god in ages.
They weren't supposed to interfere.
They weren't supposed to interfere. So there was no way for them to get those powers back. All they could do is just resort to the next best thing, which was the Zeo crystals, as another conduit to access the morphing grid. So I agree with you to the point of like, it kind of makes it redundant that, they lose their powers to do something else, to move on to the next thing. But it also makes sense in the bigger picture of why Zordon was weakened, so he wasn't able to help the Rangers out. That's why he had to leave Earth, so he can regain his strength. And I believe he took Billy along with him.
Nope.
No, not yet.
Billy didn't leave the Aquatar until Zeo.
Yeah. Speaking of Aquatar, if we're talking about the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, we gotta talk about the Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers.
And I'll be taking a nap for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Y'all can wake me when you're done talking about this. I'll wait.
But no, it's a little bit important because the Alien Rangers were, if I was understanding, was essentially Zordon's old team.
What?
Weren't they Zordon's old team?
No.
How does Zordon know these motherfuckers? He just out of nowhere was just like, my teens are now children again. Let me go ask these. And here's my thing. This is something I would like to learn.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Well, wasn't the Blue Turbo Ranger a child too? So when did they get the technology to turn children into adults when they morphed?
We don't talk about Bruno. No, no, no.
I'm just saying. Continuity issue. Continuity issue.
Yeah,
They were
yeah.
all too happy to let Justin Morgan fight. I'm just saying.
Well, that's the thing. They didn't. Why do they have?
Hey,
Why do
guys,
they have
I'm
to
the new
become
Blue
ninjas?
Ranger.
Why do they have to become ninjas? Because that's what that
They
was.
lost access to the dinosaur powers because the Thunder Zords got destroyed. The Thunder Zords
Oh,
just
they
got
needed new
blown.
Zords. So in order to get new Zords, they needed to get new powers because the Thunder Zords
That's
got
why they became
destroyed.
ninjas. They get the Thunder Zords. That's what that was about.
Yeah,
So
and that
this is one of those moments where I'm going to chime in. I'm going to go, are we going the series canon or are we acknowledging the movie with Ivan Ooze?
we have to go with the series canon, but I as a child highly enjoyed the movie. I would like to rewatch the movie again as an adult because I haven't since I've been an adult. But we have to talk about the series canon, which involves Ninja. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna go for the sake of argument. We'll touch on the movie. We'll touch back on the. We can let's compare and contrast the differences between how they receive their powers and why they receive their powers. Of the ninja, between the show and the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't remember. So I'll talk about the movie and you talk about the show because I remember more of the movie than I remember from the show.
I don't really remember the show, honestly, if I'm keeping this stack.
Oh shit. Well, the main difference is they got turned into kids in the series. They got turned into kids, and Thunder. All right, I'm gonna let Jag chime in on this one.
They got turned into kids. Way after that. Way after I got the power of ninja powers. They get the ninja powers after the first set of swords. The first set of swords got destroyed. The very first set, dinosaurs destroyed.
The Thunder Zords destroyed.
The normal, the dinosaurs, the Thunder Zords, are the Ninja Zords.
My bad. I'm sorry. My bad. So my bad. Yeah, the
Dino
Zords get destroyed, and then that's when they go upon their way to get the new ninja powers. They have to meet up with Ninjor and go through training and trials and shit with Ninjor, and then they end up becoming ninjas. And then they get the new the Thunder Zords, which is the ninja that they get from the ninjas. Now in the movie, it's 100% different. 100. There are no similarities.
Earth completely.
There's no similarities between the series canon and then the movie,
Except for the fact that they got the uniforms and the Zords, and then the fact that they had to receive them from a wise master. Other than that,
those
can
are
someone answer why Dulcia was running around half naked with the sticks? Can anyone answer that?
It was hot as hell.
Oh yeah, sure. Meanwhile, the Yellow Ranger's running around in booty shorts and a goddamn hoodie.
So was Kimberly. She had a booty shorts overalls, bro. Booty short overalls.
They knew what they were doing.
They knew exactly what they were doing.
That was the parents.
that was for the parents. That was for the daddies. But again, if you look at it, Dulce, she's on this planet. It's pretty much a desert planet for the most part, except for the one area that they had to travel in, which was jungle. And I bet you that it was still hot as shit there. And
a crane wolf bear.
Yeah. At that point, I started losing understanding of like the Zords and the meaning of the Zord to the character. You know what I mean?
I thought the whole thing was always supposed to be like the way she explained it in the movie was, just like how your ninja or animal spirit was supposed to be a reflection of your personality or your idealism. So it's like
why
just
did they make the Asian dude a frog?
I don't know. All she did was kiss him. She didn't explain that.
Oh, and we're missing something here too. In the movie, it's Aisha as the Yellow. We got to talk about that. Talk about the power change real quick. At this point in time, the Yellow Ranger is Aisha.
Hold on. We're getting ahead of ourselves again. Wait a second.
Yeah. There's a lot of power. There's a lot of passing the torch that went on before they even became ninjas.
Hold on. Mm-hmm. We're getting ahead of ourselves because we completely skipped the whole white light thing.
Oh yeah. You're right. You're absolutely motherfucking right. Run it back. Hit the rewind button. We're going back. We're bringing it back. Back to the Green Ranger. We got ahead of ourselves. Absolutely. Back to the goddamn Green Ranger. Okay, so I'm gonna dive in. I'm gonna dive in. So the Green Ranger, Tommy Oliver, greatest Ranger of all time. So at this point, they find out a way to get rid of the Green Ranger power and at least get rid of Rita's control over the Green Ranger and the Green Ranger powers, which leaves Tommy free to be like, I want to join y'all, or I'll rock with y'all, this and that. But that's not what happens right away. He takes some time to himself, and he pops up here and there when the Rangers getting their ass kicked to save them. He saves them on a regular basis. But after a while of him doing this and helping out, and then when he finally chooses to become part of the team, he starts having issues with his morphing powers and starts having issues with the Green Ranger power. So he seeks the advice of Zordon, and Zordon lets him know, well, because it was Rita Repulsa's power and it really was the green candle that was essentially holding your powers to this plane of existence. Now that that's gone, your powers are fading away and they're diminishing. I'm not 100. I don't remember the situation in which he finally loses all Green Ranger power.
The candle runs out because Jason couldn't get it.
Yeah, Jason couldn't get it in time.
Goldar, he had to fight Goldar, couldn't get it.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh yeah, they were fighting Goldar, and Goldar's like a little pocket dimension.
Yep. Dark dimension is what they call it, if I remember correctly.
Yep. And Jason, he wasn't able to get it, and so the Green Ranger power disappears. Now they're out of a Sixth Ranger for a long time, and
probably more like 15 episodes.
It was like 15 episodes, because I still have that episode, because that one episode where the white light episode was actually VHS. They put that white light episode on a VHS.
White tape too.
On a white tape too.
I have it too.
Yeah, I have it somewhere. But so they, for about 15 episodes, they don't have a Sixth Ranger. They're struggling because, again, like I said, Tommy always came to save their ass. So now they're struggling. I forget why they have to bring about a new Ranger or some shit. I completely forget why. But they're like, Zordon's like, all right, bet y'all need a new Ranger. We're gonna set you up with a new Ranger. So the whole time while they're fighting this battle, trying to save the Angel Grove, save the world, Zordon's in the kitchen, chefing it up.
He in there cooking that rock,
cooking that white. What was that?
Yeah, help Alpha 5.
Zordon was on his Walter White. And he had his homeboy Alpha helping him out. I don't care. Alpha's a ride or die. I feel like Alpha was way more loyal than Zordon. Just want to point that out.
He disappears. He doesn't tell these cats what he's doing. And then, meanwhile, he's in a whole nother sector of the command center while Alpha's out going through some side door that no one knew existed before. Like, it was just random.
Exactly. So whatever. They're like, all right, we got to find somebody to wield this new power. Jason thinking it's gonna be him. You know, we need a new power. Jason thinking it's gonna be him. So I was like, no, I found somebody else. Ladies and gentlemen, your new White Ranger comes out of nowhere, and we all remember that scene
Or
where they're like,
fucking
"Who are
hovers and the
you?"
land feet first. Yeah.
Yeah, he comes out looking like Jesus, come out looking like white Jesus floating down and just lands ever so gracefully on some Prince type shit. Oh, and
Oh.
and they're like, "Oh my god, who are you? Who are you?" We get the nice, slow, dramatic unclipping of the helmet on each side, the psh, psh noises, the air coming out, lifts up the helmet. It's fucking Tommy Oliver as the White Ranger, and of course, the little white bitch decides she want to faint.
He said, "Guess who's back?"
Mm-hmm. Guess who's back? I get to get no. Never mind. We're gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, don't be that guy, Power. The children might be listening.
You are. Yeah, I'm already. You know I'm that guy.
I already know where
You
you were
know I'm
going with
that
this
guy.
shit.
You already know. You already know. You know what? I know. God damn it! I know why she passed out. I know exactly why she passed out. She done got caught up in an entanglement.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I'm just thinking about that. Like, Tommy wasn't dead. He wasn't dead. They just ain't seen him in a minute. So she know he not dead. What was the big surprise?
Did you? He said entanglement.
I'm just saying. Tommy gone. He not rocking with them anymore because he ain't got no power. He feels useless. And in that time, was her and Jason not getting close?
I plead the fifth.
All right, Dave. Listen, all I'm saying is I've never met. I'm just saying, all right, so if you're talking to Shorty, if you and Shorty, you're supposed to be in a thing, all right, and let's say you get locked up, right? You get locked up.
See, why do I have to
Now
get
you
locked up? Why do I have to get locked up? Because I'm black? That's where you had to go with this?
in general, whether you white, black, Asian, whatever the hell you are, you get locked up. Ladies and gentlemen, you tell me in the comments. You get locked up, right? You get locked up. Your Shorty out there gallivanting on her own, right? She rocking out with the team and shit, right? And you get out of jail, don't tell her, and you pop up on her. Normally, you would think Shorty gonna be all, "Oh my god, you're home, baby, I missed you." Right? That's what it should be, right? But no, you pull up and surprise her, she get this shocked face and faint. She's scared. There's something that she's been hiding. She was hiding something. And what she was hiding was the fact that Jason was hiding something in her. I'm just saying.
I'm not co-signing that. I'm not supporting that statement.
It was always weird to me. Even as a kid, I'm like, shouldn't she be happy that he's back? Why did she faint?
And you want to know the thing I think is funny? And I didn't realize this till you just said it.
What's up?
I don't remember Jason ever having a love interest. Not once.
Now, where are you going with this, sir?
I'm just saying, I don't remember Jason ever having a love interest. So I'm not saying that you're wrong in your statement.
I will go the length and say that him and Billy were pretty close.
Oh my God. Now you're walking in very. I apologize for these niggas, man. They have no housekeeping.
I'm just saying. Just saying. I done got my tequila on my glasses, man. Come on now. I'm just saying. But no. Okay, on the real though, I agree with you. But I swear, like it was like him and Kimberly before Tommy came along. Him and Kimberly were getting close. That was kind of like the jock and the cheerleader gymnast kind of thing. That's what they were going for. And then Tommy came along. That's why Jason didn't like Tommy to begin with.
He's the bad boy.
Because Tommy was the bad boy, came in, showed.
He wasn't no damn bad boy.
Dude, that's what he was supposed to be.
Listen, none of them were bad, quote unquote, bad kids. The teenagers with attitude. That was not them.
That's what he's supposed to represent.
I know, but he was supposed to represent like the new.
Yes, he was supposed to be Bender from the Breakfast Club, but he wasn't.
Yes,
all right?
No, I agreed, he wasn't. But that's why Jason was so jealous of him to begin with, because he was an exchange student. He didn't go to that school. He had just gotten to that school. And now, mind you, Jason was the #1 martial artist in that school. He was their lead contender. And now this random dude comes out of nowhere, throwing kicks higher than me. He's getting all the chicks are swooning over him and everything. He's better at martial arts than him. Like, so he was always kind of like, who is this kid? Get him out of here. This is my kind of spot. The normal jock stuff.
So he had bitches swooning.
Oh God, I was about to say something even worse. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to keep myself tame this episode, okay? Because these are just, these Rangers are close to our hearts. They're dear to our hearts, and they're a kid-friendly show for the most part, even though it's highly violent. But anyways,
but once again, like I said in our last episode with Ninja Turtles, I didn't think of it as being violent. I thought of them being masters of a craft, them being highly proficient in what they did, and the fact that when evil attacked, they showed them that it was about that action.
And they gave them all the smoke.
Right? So with us talking about this whole white-green thing, why don't you go into Shattered Grid real quick?
Yes. So now this. Now, remember back, a few minutes ago when I talked about that moment where they, released Tommy from Rita's control. So, in another dimension, that moment went very differently.
Very different.
Very differently. Everything leading up to it was exactly the same. Them going through, they ended up freeing Tommy from Rita's control. In the end, and of course, he stopped beating our ass. So they're like, "Yo, join us. You're an amazing Ranger. You're a good guy. We could really use you on the team to help us out."
We know you're trying to eat the pink.
Stay away from my pink. Pretty much. But in this alternate dimension, Tommy makes a completely different choice.
Of his own free will.
Without being controlled by Rita whatsoever. And he decides, you know what? Fuck y'all. Rita got the right idea. You guys are right. We need to stop evil in this world. But we're not going to be able to stop it the way you guys are trying to. You guys are going to continue to fight, and you're never going to change anything. I'm going to join Rita because she actually has a plan to unify the world and end the crime, tyranny, and this and that, and bring peace to the world. And that's exactly what he does. He ends up joining Rita, and they promptly begin to take over the world. They start in multiple different areas, and now at this moment in time, we only have the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers as the Rangers for this world. So they're popping up, teleporting where they can to kind of, they're like, essentially they're fighting an entire army with just 5 of them at this point. So they're popping up where they can.
With the one guy who actually dealt them their first big defeat.
Exactly. Going against the one person that they know for a fact can and will, without remorse, whip their ass. Now, with all this all culminates into a giant battle between Rita, Tommy, Goldar, their forces and the Rangers and all their friends. I'm talking they brought in Ninjor. I'm talking they brought in the forget the cop's name that was originally from VR Troopers. The cop ranger kind of thing. It was like from Turbo.
Oh, Blue Centurion.
Yeah. That was the name, Blue Centurion?
Yes.
Yes. Yep. They brought in Blue Centurion. Pretty much all Zordon's allies collectively came together on the command center because Rita mounts this attack on the command center. Needless to say, they win. Now, while this whole attack's going on, some similar events occur. Zordon's like, we need a new ranger. We need another ranger whose power is equal that to this evil Green Ranger. So he starts concocting. He gets on his Walter White in this universe and starts going about creating the white light for the White Ranger. And without anybody else to take it, he has to choose Jason, the Red Ranger. But just as Jason's about to take the power, Tommy breaks in and they start fighting. Now, we don't see what happens in the fight. They don't show what happens in the fight.
Which I feel so cheated.
Yes. Yeah, I do too. But we are led to believe that Tommy kills Jason because he's standing on top of the mountain of rubble of the command center, holding Saba, the White Ranger's sword, the White Ranger's saber, as well as Jason's helmet. And he is now formed into an amalgamation of the White Ranger and the Green Ranger. And then goes by the name Lord Draken, or Draken, however you want to pronounce it. And then proceeds to absolutely demolish and take over the entire world to the point where civilization was split. You had one group of civilizations say, give in to him so he can stop destroying us. The other side, no, we're not giving in to him at all. And within doing that, we end up getting a rebellion known as the Coinless. So this story is prominent because it ends up bleeding over into the main Power Rangers, main Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic book universe, where we see the Rangers. At this point, this is the same point where Tommy chooses to stay the Green Ranger, but he's not too sure about joining the Ranger team just yet. So he's having all these doubts because he just went through and was absolutely evil and hurt people, destroyed people, this and that, so on and so forth. So he's going through a real tough time right now on trusting the Rangers and the Rangers trusting him. Now this comic book gets really, really dark. I really, really suggest you guys go watch Shattered Grid. Go read Shattered Grid, or check out Comic Historian. He has a whole playlist on the events of Shattered Grid. And essentially, we end up seeing, we flash back to the main timeline. We see Scorpina, essentially fucking with Tommy ever so often and stuff like that. But now, due to Tommy's doubt, he's been being visited by image of Rita Repulsa, essentially feeding him all these doubts and shit in his head. Which essentially weaken him. Because her goal was, the angrier he is, the more he fights, the more his energy, the Green Ranger energy, will go back into this mystical crystal that she had in order to imprison and pretty much regain control over him. It fails, and then she and Finster are essentially greeted by a mysterious voice from the dark, saying, yo, I can help you out, get rid of these Rangers. I got you. So then we end up seeing him, and this giant Megazord essentially is now attacking the city, destroying the city. The Rangers, they jump in, try to fight it, absolutely get their ass whipped again by this black Megazord. So now there's a lot to this. Long story short, they end up fighting this Megazord. And within doing so, they ended up like ripping off an arm of his. Come to find out, they found out that no one's actually in this Zord because now this Zord can change sizes, it can grow, shrink, whatever. So you can take them on hand to hand as Rangers individually, or it can take them on as a Megazord, which right off the rip is crazy because we've never seen anything like this before. Until they start analyzing the arm that they found and realize that some of the components are similar to the Dragon Zord. And this is where Trini and Billy's absolute intelligence comes in. They start doing some routine maintenance on their Dragon Zord because it was fritzing out, acting wild, acting weird, and wasn't listening to Tommy. So in doing so, they find these similarities between this Zord and the Dragon Zord. There ends up being a whole fight, whatever. Tommy joins in to fight them, to fight this Black Zord. Billy ends up, who was actually taken away by, he was kidnapped by Rita. Again, these fucking aliens and kidnapping these kids. She ends up taking him, and now he's stuck with Goldar in the dark dimension. If we find Goldar chained up upon his own will because he failed Rita, whatever. Him and Billy have a heart to heart. He decides, you know what? I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you figure this out. So they end up finding out that the dragon, the Zord, whatever the Zord is, has a hatch on it, so that means there's somebody inside. So Billy tells Tommy, well, Goldar releases him. Billy goes tell Tommy. Tommy and Billy are like, all right, let's go do this. Now I'm leaving out a very crucial part of this story. At this point in time, the Rangers actually do not have their powers at this moment in time because this mysterious force did something and interrupted and essentially disconnected them from the morphin grid. So Tommy decides, you know what? Here, I'll do this. He ends up giving each one of the other Rangers a piece of the Green Ranger power, leaving him completely powerless. So now we have the Rangers running around in their normal uniforms, but instead of being red, blue, yellow, and pink, they're all green. So we have a whole team of Green Rangers running around. Super amped up, powerful Green Rangers with Jason wearing the shield. Now, right there, I found that interesting right out the rip, too. Because we already see Jason quite a few times wear the shield throughout Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And also, we see it in the original Sentai version of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, where, in fact, the Red Ranger and Green Ranger were actually brothers. And in the Sentai Rangers, the Green Ranger actually dies. For those of you who don't know, in the original storyline for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the Green Ranger dies. Like I said, Japan was not holding back and shit. So Billy and Tommy, they jump onto this Zord and they get inside and come to find out, oh shit, there's nobody inside. But all these components look similar to the Dragon Zord. I wonder why. Bada bing, bada boom. Something ends up happening, and like the Rangers end up beating it, but then it explodes with Billy and Tommy still inside of it. They're bugging out. Oh shit, Billy, Tommy, they dead. Oh no, blah 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 blah. But to come to find out, Billy and Tommy were actually teleported to this dark dimension, or Lord Draken dimension. So there's this whole thing now they're going through trying to figure out what's going on. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a shit ton lot. But this storyline is so dark and it explains so much about Billy and Trini's connection, because throughout this comic book we see Billy and Trini getting really, really close, and Trini learning a lot of what Billy has to teach her. So this is really what we get to see. Now in this shadow dimension, no, honestly, I don't really want to say much more because I don't want to give away the whole fucking story because it is 100% worth the read. It's so worth the goddamn read. But yeah, Shadow Dimensions is it's dark, it's crazy. It gives you a whole lot of information and depth on the Power Rangers themselves. Stuff that we don't get to see in the show. Now we have this other tidbit of information. Now we don't really get to see Lord Zed too much throughout the Shadow Grid storyline, but do you I found out about the Zordon thing on my own. Yeah, I don't think I told you about the Zordon and Lord Zed situation, did I?
No, I actually came across that like 2 days ago.
Oh, so you're where I am. Do you want to give them the lowdown on Lord Zed's true personality, true identity?
Well, Lord Zed was actually revealed to be from Eltar also. He's from the same planet as Zordon, same race. And now he was actually one of the planet's greatest warriors.
Not only that, he has a deeper connection to Zordon rather than just being the same species as him.
He was actually his teacher.
Yep, he was actually Zordon's teacher. So, I after learning that, I was like, oh, it makes so much sense that there was so much kind of animosity and or history between these two, like on some type of Professor X and Magneto type shit.
I was gonna say Anakin and Vader, but Obi-Wan and Vader, excuse me.
Yeah. Well, right there, we can go with that as well. That's a good one too. So yeah, that threw me off. I was super excited to learn that. So if he's supposed to be the same race as Zordon, why does he not look like Zordon?
Because it got explained that he tried to manipulate the power of the Zeo Crystal, and in doing so, the Zeo Crystal rejected him, and that's what happened. It literally tried to tear him apart, going as far as burning like his skin off his flesh, and then that was the end result. But the thing that I was always confused about is that I get the fact that he lived, but it's like, where did the whole thing with him being recruited by I can't remember. Yes, thank you. So it's like, if he's supposed to be oh so evil and have all these powers just like Rita, like why was it never explained where his transcendence into that realm of magic and dark sorcery come from?
Well, in that video, it explains it a little bit. He after the Zeo Crystal flayed his skin and shit like that, he was so angry, and that anger and rage, and especially what happened right after that, ends up turning him, to essentially to the dark side. And this is where Dark Spectre comes in and essentially recruits him. Like, you're angry, you want revenge on Zordon and the rest of the Altar, and the Morphin gods. All right, bet, not a problem. And so he helps him out and gives him certain powers and shit like that to pretty much get the job done, which he absolutely fails at a lot of the time. Now that I think about it, Rita had more dubs than Zed. Even though Zed was supposed to be stronger and smarter than her, Rita actually has way more dubs than Zed.
Well, hold on. Here's the thing, too. Let's not forget. Rita did roofie him and then convince him to fall in love with her.
That is very true.
She would all bill the pill on him and drop the Quaaludes into his drink.
Oh, shit. Oh, no. Rita the rapist. No.
And like, oh, he's going to want me and only me. Oh, he wakes up, he takes one good look at her, and he goes, oh, yeah. We getting married, baby.
Bro.
She's like, wait, marriage? Hold on. Whoa. What's going on here?
Love and marriage.
Said go together like a horse and carriage.
Oh man, I forgot about that. She pretty much tricked him into loving her. That's just wild. That's crazy. Isn't it an episode where we actually see their wedding or some shit
Yeah,
like that?
I
Yeah.
forget what it's called.
Mm-hmm. And I don't feel like researching it right now, but yeah, there's the whole episode when we see their marriage.
I think it's like 2 episodes, if it serves me correctly.
Mm-hmm. Because they got to fight the Rangers, interrupt or somehow or some shit. They have to fight the Rangers and then start it back up, and then it was just a lot. It was just a lot. Because mind you, we have again. This is just 30. We're at just 30 years of Power Rangers in general, and I think Mighty Morphin went on for what, like 5 years?
3,
They had 3 seasons.
because they went from the dinosaurs to them getting the power of Turbo, and then they became the Ninjetti.
Because now, well, we are all right. So, all right, are we talking? Because there's the Mighty Morphin era, but then there's also the Zordon era. Because I just forgot, because Zordon was. After that, there was a few other Ranger teams that he had, looked out over.
Listen, if you want to acknowledge the Alien Rangers, that's up to you.
I do, because they kicked ass. They actually kicked more ass because they were vets. They were vets. So the way I see the Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers is the same idea as an SPD. So SPD stands for Space Patrol Delta, right? And they were Delta Team. But as we see in Space Patrol Delta, that there's other teams of Rangers. There's an Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and they're just Delta. We end up seeing the Alpha team, which is how the Rangers end up go about getting their SWAT gear, the new power up, the SWAT gear. So I see it as the same thing. I see Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers as like Squad Alpha. They were older, they had been doing it longer, and they were more cool-headed. So they were stronger. They were way stronger. I did respect that there was a black one, though. There was yep.
At least he was blue and not black.
Oh yeah, we can't talk about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and not talk about the fucking racism that they definitely had when they first started off. They made the white guy the Red Ranger. They made the quirky female pink. They made the Asian yellow. They made the black guy black. And they made the gay guy blue.
Well, we didn't know that he was playing for that team back then. Yeah. Nothing against him.
Nothing against him. I feel like he's a fucking great actor. Oh, did you know he's actually writing his own Power Ranger script?
And I would love to see what he does with it.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's relative to what they're trying to do right now with Once and Always, I believe it's called. Where it kind of explains and it expands more on Trini and leading up to her death or something like that. So it's definitely not for kids. But yeah, there was a lot of stereotyping and racism. I mean, why did the black guy have to dance when he fought?
Listen, that hip hop keto was a shit though.
Yeah, hip hop keto, that was a shit. But at the same time, they're gonna give it to the black dude who was also the Black Ranger and have him hip hop keto his way through a bunch of putties.
But that was his thing apparently. Like he was just a naturally good.
Yeah, so the hip hop keto. So I watched a little thing with Walter Jones, and he talked about it. Hip hop keto was his idea.
I believe it. I absolutely believe it.
It was something that came about during his audition because he didn't know any martial arts, but he knew how to dance. And so what he did to get the job was he danced and made it look like it was martial arts. And they're like, we like that style. Let's bring it into the character.
Well, I mean, it'd been no different if he was using capoeira. Did I say that correctly?
Yeah. Yep. That makes sense. But they still made the Black Ranger black, Asian Ranger yellow.
Well, at least he was intelligent. He was subtle.
Wasn't Asian.
That's true.
At least he wasn't sat tripping and wore baggy pants that couldn't use proper grammar.
Yeah, but the pants were baggy. They weren't sagging, but they were baggy. But I can't really say that because that was the fit back in the day. The parachute pant kind of thing going on with the African the Afro style to the pants.
Oh, he was very pro black by the way he dressed. You saw
absolutely
super pro black.
Hey, did you know Walter Jones only has 4 fingers on one hand?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, for those who don't know, and I didn't know until I watched this video, he has 4 fingers on one hand, and has always had 4 fingers on one hand, even throughout Power Rangers. So if you pay attention when he when he morphs, like look at his fingers. He's missing a finger on his left hand, I believe. Yeah, his left hand. I never knew that. That's a quick little fun fact for y'all. Never knew that shit. But I mean, I don't know. Because they did it again in Operation Overdrive. The black guy who had the ability to turn invisible.
Oh my god.
Was a thief. And it made him the Black Ranger.
So whoever was watching that didn't learn from the original.
Right. Let alone hell, SPD, their 6th Ranger, which coincidentally wore black, was a fucking dog.
Listen, the Shadow Ranger was dope. I don't give a fuck what no one says.
He absolutely 100% was. Doggy Cruiser is the equivalent if Zordon was a Ranger.
Yeah, I agree.
Because Doggy Kruger had 0 remorse. We rarely ever saw him get beat.
That's why he's number 100.
Yeah.
100 dudes by himself.
Yep, that's right, Jack. That's right. 100. Yeah, he was number 100.
Yeah, I'm about to show y'all what the shits. Watch this. Ha ha.
Oh, I forgot. SPD had numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, they went 1 through 5. They had numbers. And Doggy Kruger was number 100. So, speaking of SPD, I'm interested in seeing where this 30th reunion takes things. Because we see the people that return are David Yost, Johnny Young Bosch. Pretty much the Rangers that returned are
all of them but 3.
All of them but 3. And unfortunately, sadly, 2 of them aren't there for very tragic reasons. But we got Rocky back, we got Kat back, we got Billy, Adam, Zach, Aisha. Those are all the Rangers that we've seen so far.
Listen, I'm only speaking for myself with this, but Catherine was all right as a Pink Ranger, and Rocky was not a good Red Ranger. I don't care what no one says. Fight me.
Absolutely not. This man broke his own motherfucking back.
Like if we're comparing Rangers, and I don't like to compare past to present by no means, but considering that they had to pass the torch to them, like Adam wasn't as quote unquote cool as Zach, but Adam had attitude and he had skill. And then Aisha had her whole own sense of style.
Exactly.
So like, and it's like, but when you got to Rocky, it was just like, yeah, he's here.
he didn't really have anything to really contribute to the team
And
besides subpar martial arts skills. Because again, you break your back doing a spin kick. Like, how hard did he throw that fucking kick to spin himself out the ring?
he was trying to kick Rita's head off her shoulders, apparently. But no, here's another thing. Here's another thing I thought that was interesting that got like passed over that was never really addressed. So in the original series, whenever you watch it, it was obvious that the Red Ranger was the leader. The Red Ranger is acknowledged as the leader, usually always, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, when Tommy joins the team, Tommy's not necessarily made second in command because Zach kind of held that position.
Yeah.
But it's like it's subtly hinted at. Then when Tommy becomes the White Ranger, Zordon literally says that he's the new leader of the team. And I felt like that. I always thought that was weird that no one batted an eye about it.
I think it was because he kind of proves his worth, that they're all like, yeah, he should be the leader. If he can beat all our asses, he should be the leader. I'm not pushing it. I'm not getting punched in the face. Fuck that. I'm not getting kicked out of my Zord again. No,
but
he got it.
But even then, it should have been one of those things like, whoa, hold on. What do you mean I'm the leader? You know, Jason's been leading the team since the team was founded. Like, I'm still technically the new guy.
You're right.
Yeah,
Tommy
like nah.
didn't bat an eye.
No one batted an eye about that. They're like, yeah, he's the leader now. So it's like, well, so what? I just got replaced? Like Zordon, was I fucking up? Did I drop the ball? Like, what happened?
You're absolutely right. Holy shit! I never really realized that. Yeah,
like that would be like if they found a fifth Ninja Turtle and told Leonardo, yeah, you're no longer in charge.
Venus. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know why I'm watching, by all means, please head back to our last episode, the Super Breakdown TMNT, and you'll see why this reference is so damn funny. But yeah,
anywho, now this is the one time and the only time do we see that this happens. Now, when you watch Zeo, when the gold power transfer happens, when Jason comes back and he gets made Gold Ranger, I remember they end that episode with the two of them sparring, and he was like, yo, it's good to have you back, man. He's like, yeah, thanks. And I was really missing this place. We did a lot of good at the World Peace Conference. What was it? As I make my air quotations. So he goes, yo, there's something I want to get off my chest real quick. And he's like, yo, what's up? He was like, yo, leaving was a real hard decision for me, but I want you to know that I knew I was doing the right thing, you know, leaving the team in your hands. But I don't want you to feel like I'm trying to put things back to the way they were. So if by that definition, if the strongest Ranger is the leader, Jason technically should have been made leader of the team again, because the Gold Ranger was definitely stronger than the Red Ranger.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. But also the gold power was honestly a bit temporary.
Not the point.
So they didn't want to make somebody leader whose power was only temporary.
Still not the point.
Like, granted, yes, the Gold Ranger's power was way stronger than the Red Ranger's power. But again, like, if it's only temporary, that's why Tommy wasn't made the leader of the team as a Green Ranger.
Based on that logic, all the six Rangers should be leaders then. Based on that logic.
Technically, yeah. If you go with that logic, yeah, the six Rangers should end up becoming the head Rangers. Except for a few of them. I've ran into a few seasons of Rangers where the sixth Ranger is really actually trash. Like
the Magnum Defender?
He was brutal though. I don't really count him as a Ranger. I count him as that that kind of like outside figure, kind of like Ninja, or kind of like
the Shadow Ranger.
Yeah, in a way. Yeah, he's not really a Ranger. He's more like a vigilante. Well, he was brutal. He didn't care who you were. He was more of an anti-hero because he fought both the villains and the Rangers on a regular basis.
Okay, so let's count six. Let's count six the Rangers real quick. So if we're going, what? So we got the Titanium Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Silver Ranger.
That storyline. That Titanium Ranger storyline was really fucking dope.
We have the Silver Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Quantum Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have loved to have them explain why he was red also, but whatever.
Yeah. Agreed. That kind of threw me off. But, well, because of the thing, he was stronger than the Time Force Red Ranger. And that's what he wanted. He wanted to lead the team. He wanted to be the leader. He was actually trying to take the spot from him.
And then all of them were like, yeah, we're not doing that. You know, we're not co-signing that. You can go off on your own and play. And see, once again, that kind of how it should have been. Like, wait, hold on. Why does that decision get made?
Mm-hmm.
Like, no one ever questioned anything. And I always thought that was weird.
No, yeah, I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree with you. Like, so we have again, you said boom, boom. Oh, hold on. Quick little side tangent. For those of you who don't know, the White Ranger in America is actually not a part of the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger team.
He's not.
In the Sentai. He was actually part of the first Ranger team in Sentai, right?
Nope.
No?
Number 2, he was part of the team after the Japanese team. He was part of Change. I remember. There's Change Man. I think it's Change Man. I think that's the name of the team. And he was a little kid. He was a little boy.
Oh, so he was adjusted.
Yes, he was adjusted in Japan.
Oh.
And he got taller anymore.
Something about educating these little boys and fighting. Never mind. Anywho, so let's see. We have
was Batman.
What?
Zordon was Batman with a child fetish.
Whoa, hold on. We're not touching that. Okay. So so I got a question for you, Power.
Yeah.
Because I'm about to be that guy. So because in our last episode when we broke down Ninja Turtles, for anyone who hasn't seen it, please check it out. I always voiced the argument from that crossover he did with what Batman did with the Ninja Turtles that I refuse to believe that Batman. What?
Tommy's winning.
Okay.
Tommy's winning. I feel like the difference between Batman and Tommy is Batman shows restraint. Evil Green Ranger. I don't think the good Green Ranger will be able to hold up against him because of that sense of morality. Evil Green Ranger Tommy, hands down. And for those of you who don't know,
hold on, Jack. Go ahead. I heard you in the back. What was that?
The question he was about to ask was, because the last episode we talked about the Turtles, all 4 Turtles versus Batman. He was about to ask me, what about the Rangers versus Batman? I say all the Rangers are getting their ass wiped, but Evil Green Ranger Tommy would win.
So you hold on. So let me get this straight. You believe what?
He said he thinks Tommy in general will win, whether evil or not.
I'm supposed to believe, okay? Once again, 2 or 3 maybe, all right? But he's beating both Jason and Tommy. Morphed? He's beating Jason, Tommy, and Zach.
No, hell no.
I refuse to believe it.
No. Hell no. Hell no. Batman is not, first of all, let alone again, Batman's not beating Tommy alone.
With or without prep time. You got it with or without prep time. You always got to
Fuck the prep time. Fuck the prep time. There's not always such thing as prep time.
No.
The fucking prep time. Jack, I want to hit you in the fucking throat right now.
What is
fucking prep time?
What is he going to prep for?
Well,
he can't use EMP because you got to remember Batman's prep time is based within reality.
If they lose their morph, they have to be morphed to win. They have to be morphed to win. They have to be morphed to win. Without that morpher and they're human, that Batman knows a lot more martial arts than they do. He does. He's actually trained.
Granted,
He's
yes,
fully trained.
yes. I
He's
you know
trained
what?
to kill people.
I'm gonna have to go with Jack on this one and agree they have to be morphed. If they are not morphed,
he's beating the bricks out of all three of them.
remember, because they're teenagers. He's beating the brakes off every single one of them teenagers, unless they're morphed. But even when they are morphed, I think that he is taking majority of the team in one-on-ones, except for Tommy. I feel like Tommy one-on-one is giving him a run for his money right off rip. Morphed. Even without Shield, I feel like Tommy's giving Batman the hands morphed. Not morphed, I don't think they have a chance against Batman not morphed. I don't know. What do you think?
Y'all don't want to know what the fuck I think.
No, go ahead. Because again, I agree. I personally feel like in any normal circumstances, Batman is not beating the fucking Power Rangers.
I swear to God, listen, man. One more motherfucker brings up prep time. I swear to God. You want to know who else needs prep time apparently to be so fucking dangerous? Kevin McCullister, all right?
Oh, for real. Kevin, yeah.
I would like to point out T'Challa don't need prep time, but anywho.
Yeah, T'Challa need prep time, and T'Challa would beat Batman. T'Challa would hands down beat Batman.
All right. So yeah.
T'Challa's a fucking Power Ranger.
Listen, all right. If we're going the original,
I would love to see that an amalgamation of the Black Panther and the Black Ranger.
Said the Black Ranger tribe will not challenge today.
They did that at a Comic-Con with Walter Jones. They all dressed up as like all different Black Rangers, and they had like this whole like music video thing that they did. That shit was so dope. But that would be interesting. I would love to see. I'm about to go to this AI creator and image creator and put that in and see what it spits out. Black Panther mixed with the Black Power Ranger.
It's more for
Oh my god, that'll be sick. That'll be a sick ass what if. That'll be a sick ass one. All right, we're getting off. But yeah, no.
Like I said, I refuse to believe it. If they have to be morphed, yes, I will say that they're morphed. And if they are morphed, I don't think he's beating them. I don't care what no one says.
Absolutely, no, I don't. I even with prep time, because again, what are you gonna prep?
What is he prepping though? How can he
prepping? He's like, I can understand him prepping against someone
into the command center and hack the viewing globe and learn the history, and then he somehow download that shit into the back computer, and then he's gonna somehow figure out a way to disrupt the morphing grid.
Exactly. It took literally Lord Draken to help Rita disrupt the morphing grid.
I don't give a shit. There are even some things even that the mighty Bruce Wayne can't understand.
Yeah, no, there's
What? What was that?
He said God himself.
He said Batman has defeated gods before. But again, that was still with prep time. He beat Moby. He beat Mobius with prep time.
The Batman Who Laughs is still technically a Batman. You gotta think about that too.
Like that's the one Batman that don't need prep time. Batman Who Laughs is the one Batman that don't need prep time.
I don't want to hear it. All right.
Green Ranger versus Batman Who Laughs.
No, Lord Draken versus the Batman Who Laughs.
Lord Draken versus Batman Who Laughs. That's a hot one.
Shit, can the Rangers use their Zords in it too? I want to see Batman take it on the time.
Nah.
There's one-on-one.
There's one-on-one. No Zords.
So wait, can they use their weapons then?
Yeah, they can use the weapons. Yeah.
And technically, we're not talking one-on-one. We're talking 6-on-1.
What was that? You cut out.
We're not talking one-on-one. We're talking 6-on-1.
Yes, because Batman has you technically uses weapons too. Technically, what's your tuning belt?
Oh, so all the Rangers versus Batman while they're using their weapons while morphed.
Yes.
I feel like they're beating Batman without having to use their weapons.
All right then.
But now again, we just said Lord Draken 1v1 Batman. The man who has literally conquered an entire world. Damn near single-handedly.
He became a god himself. So
with prep time.
Are we still talking about Batman in this fucking prep time?
Like no, there's no prep time. There's no prep time because there's no possible way in hell Batman could prep for this.
You can't go to every single universe and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna figure out how to defeat the character and then fight him." That's not no. Listen,
like him with the turtles. I'll chalk that bullshit up to his power of deduction and his detective instincts to know. All right, so clearly, based off of what I've been paying attention to, they're siblings. All right, they're highly trained and skilled martial artists. They're mutants. So as he's fighting them, he's determining, all right, they don't have any special powers. They're just highly trained and skilled. Well, I've beat highly trained and skilled ninjas before. So right. that bullshit with that logic, okay.
But I also want to acknowledge like what we keep talking about this whole thing with him fighting the turtles, and we have seen it happen, yes. But and we're getting off subject, but the issue is like it also depends on the incarnation of them he's fighting. Like we have seen incarnations of them where they're more childish, but then we have seen incarnations of them where they're with the shits.
It's true. Which again is why I feel like we'd have to match him up against somebody that's with the shits, like Lord Draken. Don't get me wrong. I feel like Evil Green Ranger got it, but it'll be a fight. It'll be an entertaining fight. I feel like Lord Draken versus Batman. There's not going to be a lot of a fight.
All right. So like I said, like we're getting off subject. So I'm gonna shine back and go over something real quick. What are your feelings on the reboot they tried to do back in 2015?
I felt like it had potential, but fell very, very short because I feel like they missed the essence of Power Rangers. The movie itself could have been way, way better if they had just kept the essence of Power Rangers.
They tried to mature it too much.
Yes, they try to make it they try to make it too mature.
Too mature, and it kind of took away the cheese because the cheese is part of the charm.
I agree. The cheese is a part of the charm. The corny factor is a part of the charm of Power Rangers.
Nah. I can't co-sign that. Because
again, the movie to me had potential. They fell short because again, it didn't feel like Power Rangers to me.
Well, no, to me it did. But there's little things that they took away that they shouldn't.
Agreed, absolutely agreed.
For example, like if they had did this instead of it being like a full-length movie, if they had turned the movie into a series and did it on like Netflix,
again, that would have felt more natural to me.
It would, because that's what it would. But that's the point I'm trying to make, because they have the time to expand upon certain things. You got to remember, you can only fit so much within 2 hours. That's one. Two.
Agreed. Was that movie even 2 hours?
What?
Was that movie even 2 hours?
It had to been. I'd be very surprised if it wasn't.
Interesting.
Yes, it was.
So
they wasted a lot of time on stuff they
on the training montage. Yeah, they wasted a lot of time on the training montage. They wasted
a lot of time for them to get to the point where they can actually morph in the movie.
Yeah.
That was one of the complaints people had, is that they said they waited too long to morph. But it was also supposed to be, if this was supposed to be part of a series, I wouldn't have bothered me so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, like we seen that first John Wick, he spends the first 40 minutes of the movie, but the second you see him scrubbing blood off that floor, nigga, you just lost cabin pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing with this is that for every one thing they did right, there was two things they did wrong. For example, I like the fact that they gave it a little bit more grit and grounded it more in reality. Like the original 5 weren't quote unquote kids with attitude. Like these niggas be in detention.
and again, like I said, it had so much potential. I feel like it was missing something for me.
I don't know. You said the cheese is part of the charm. I disagree. And the reason why I disagree is because it can be dark but still have a good message to it. Like look at the original Ninja Turtles.
You know what? I agree with you because my all-time, like, of course, I hands down, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, hands down, absolutely number one. But to me, my favorite Rangers series was Lightspeed Rescue. And I feel like out of all of the Ranger series, Lightspeed Rescue was the darkest. And Lightspeed Rescue didn't really have any cheese factor to it. It was a very serious, it was like damn near like child soap opera.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I think I might have to change my opinion and agree with you that it's not necessarily about the cheese factor. I mean, I guess maybe when you're talking about the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers specifically, yeah. But again, we all want a gritty Power Rangers movie, which is what we're going to be getting with the Legend of White Dragon, essentially. With Jason David Frank, R.I.P. and Bat in the Sun.
Right.
So now, I agree. Yeah, I think you know what? Yeah, then I have to agree with you. Maybe cheese really wasn't right, but it was missing something for me.
Like I like the fact that they showed that Rita was a Ranger. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like the fact that they had that whole thing where Zordon was the original Red Ranger. Now he failed his team.
Mm-hmm.
There was like I said, there was little shit they did wrong. For example, like when they morphed, and they were fighting the putties. How like Jason draws his sword, and how then he starts laying into him with his sword. But if Zach was like, "Oh, that shit's cool, let me try that," and then instead of him drawing a sword, he pulls the axe and goes, "Well, this wasn't what I was looking for, but I'll take it." And then their
weapons were different.
Hmm?
Yeah, now I'm really realizing their weapons weren't like the traditional Mighty Morphin Power Ranger weapons.
Only Jason used his sword. That was it. None of the rest of them used their weapons. Like that was a better opportunity to me. And then like the whole thing with Rita being able to manipulate gold, like that was never explained. Like if Rita was a Ranger, why didn't Rita just summon the Dragon Zord?
Agree. Exactly. And that's something that also bothered me as well. There was just things that were missing. The movie could have been A1, but ended up for me falling around a B- to C because of all these little things that they missed. The formation of Goldar. Speaking of her manipulating gold, the manipulation of the creation of Goldar bothered the hell out of me. I don't know about you, but it bothered the absolute ever-living hell out of me. Because it's like, he's supposed to have his own mind. He's supposed to have his own way of thinking. But instead, in the movie, he was just essentially a big-ass gold putty.
Yeah.
And like all we see is Rita. We don't see a Finster. We don't get to see we definitely don't get to see a Lord Zed.
Well, I thought they were going to be going that angle with the sequel.
Agreed.
In future endeavors, because they had hinted that Tommy was going to show up in class. And if it was the green power core that was inherently evil, or the power core was corrupted, so like he found it and then it corrupted him. Like there's a lot of stuff they could have did. The question was, what would they have done? Now, like I said, and I like the whole thing with it being grounded in reality. Like you look at Angel Grove. Angel Grove is is like Angel Grove is like Coast City. It's always sunny. There's no problems. No, nothing ever happens. This Angel Grove ain't that Angel Grove. This is the Angel Grove where like it's from like the fucking town from Seven. Like all it does is rain and there's mad drama.
Yeah, I mean, no, in the movie it was pretty sunny because they were in summer school.
But I'm saying, like, I like the fact that it was a sleepy little town opposed to it being
instead of a big city.
Yeah.
I get that. Now here's the thing. All right. Now, how would you feel if when they did the sequel, they made Tommy a girl? They made Tommy a female.
I wouldn't have felt that at all. I wouldn't have been jacking that. Or would our luck it would have been someone who was transitioning or something like that? Once again, not that there's anything wrong with that.
I agree, but now what if it was Jenna?
I'm sorry?
Now what if the actress was Jenna Frank?
Oh, I can't say no and I can't say yes because I would have had to have seen the end result. I always have my opinions when I hear something, but it's like I want to see the material, then make the final call. Because I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot to say when Heath Ledger got cast as the Joker, and then he wound up blowing my socks off. So,
agreed. Granted. Yeah. I don't. For me, I wouldn't have felt some kind of because they already made changes to the characters herself. Because again, they didn't even go off with the first original team. Because they had an Adam. Or was he Zach? The Asian dude.
I think it was Zach. It
was
Zach.
Yeah, it was Zach.
Look at you. What kind of racist shit is that? He's like, you saw Asian and you automatically assumed Adam Power. You should be ashamed of yourself. Racist.
Well, again, I only watched this movie once.
Go ahead. I want to hear it.
I only watched this movie once, and that was in theaters. I went to go see this movie in theaters, and I only watched it once. So I couldn't remember if they went with Zach or went with Adam.
Nah, it was the team, names and all. They just updated and changed slight things. Like I like the fact that Billy was autistic, opposed to him just being a computer geek.
Well, he wasn't necessarily autistic. He was a savant.
Excuse me. I guess that would be the better word.
Well, no, not even that, because technically, savant syndrome is actually no longer on the autistic spectrum.
Did not know that.
Yeah, it's because it's considered too high functioning.
Mm-hmm. Like the whole thing with Zach dealing with the fact that his mother was going to die, like, and how he was working to pay for her meds. Like, there was a lot of stuff that to me that was done well. I did like the fact that they had the whole thing with Trini questioning her sexuality because a lot of teenagers do deal with that.
Mm-hmm. I didn't like that her name was Trini, and yet, like, if you look at the character, remember, she was like supposed to be the actor was Latina.
Her family was too,
and her family was Latina.
I don't think her dad was.
Oh no! The dad was Asian. The dad was Asian. Okay, all right. Again, like I said, I only watched the movie once. I never watched it again after that. Like when I'm chilling and I'm like, you know what, and I take my medicine and I'm like, all right, I'm a little enlightened now. Maybe I should rewatch this. I still don't, because it just it bothers me. There's so much about the movie that bothers me, and what bothers me the most is that because it had so much potential, it bothered me the most. Yep, it bothered me the absolute most.
I'm sorry, what did he just say?
Oh, what happened? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What'd you say, Jack? You said what? They teased
the sequel and they never gave us the damn sequel.
Well, you know what? Yeah.
Everyone felt.
They left it unfinished.
But that's because they were in the middle of selling it to Hasbro.
And
sold to Hasbro right after that.
Hold on, because I'm gonna be that guy, because I am that guy. We all don't want another Turbo movie incident, do we?
I'm not touching that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, like I said, I'd rather take a few bumps in the road. And here's another thing.
Okay, what would you think? What movie you think was worse, Mighty Morphin or Turbo?
What you mean? I don't understand you asking the question. That's like
Mighty Morphin and Turbo.
for Batman and Robin. What do you?
I mean, because if you look at it, like at least Turbo.
What?
Yeah, at least Turbo is canon.
What the fuck does that do with anything?
Turbo is actually canon. Don't get me wrong.
Nothing.
We talked about this before. Nothing about that fucking movie made sense.
That has nothing to do with nothing.
I don't know. I just feel like.
So what? The movie's canon is still suck like a hooker in a back alley with no teeth. Because it's canon. That has nothing to do with nothing.
Okay, but if you come on, dude, the bulky ass rubber suits. Ivan Ooze, for some reason, needing children to play with his ooze.
It wasn't. Whoa! Don't make it.
Ivan Ooze was a whole ass pedophile, bro. He was not even that. He was like, "Hey, give it to your parents. Let your parents play with my ooze too." Come on now. He exploited the shit out of those children. So would you rather like child exploitation or a shitty canon movie? I'll take the shitty canon movie because I don't want a big purple dude. I don't want to say I like the movie that had a big purple dude having children play with his fucking ooze. This is not Barney, goddammit.
About nothing now. First and foremost, one. What better sequences? What had the better story? And let's not forget, I don't give a shit what no one says. The fact that they were driving cars, like, it just annoyed the shit out of me. Come on, man.
I agree. There's no way that torpedo. First off, there's no fucking way that these big ass cars. First off, these cars were not normal sized cars. They were not normal sized vehicles when they were small. They were actually bigger than normal sized vehicles.
Like they were driving tanks.
Yeah, it was damn near they were driving tanks. This motherfucker Tommy was driving a fucking Pontiac GTO that's size of a tank, and somehow all these goddamn big ass vehicles fit inside this old rickety ass pirate ship. And then they somehow had the time to get from the top deck all the way down to the bottom deck, which housed these big ass vehicles, to get into the big ass vehicles, and then to survive a fucking torpedo blowing up the pirate ship. That did bother the shit out of me. I think we talked about this before on a prior episode. We talked about this before. I don't know. I just there's just things I can't get behind when it comes to either movie. Yet there's certain things that I can. Again, granted, Mighty Morphin. I feel like Mighty Morphin had a more. I want to say the story was better, but it was a more comprehensible story. The story made more sense.
Well, it's also one of those things where they try to toe the line of what they can do and what they can't. Like you said, you can only let shit be so dark before the rating changes or parents complain. Because we have seen it happen before.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say, as in fight scenes, I give Mighty Morphin the fight scenes.
Wasn't Kimberly and them demon possessed? Was Kimberly and
Kimberly and Jason were
possessed.
No, they were possessed by Dark Spectre.
Yeah,
that was a whole thing about Turbo was Rita was trying to resurrect Dark Spectre.
Wasn't Rita Pirate
Not
lady.
Rita, fucking Divatox.
There we go.
Fucking Divatox was trying to resurrect the Dark Spectre and marry him. And she went to shake his hand, and like even though he was made of lava, he somehow electrocuted her. Even though he was made of lava.
She's about to catch that hot molten rock is what she was about to catch.
For real.
What was it? What was it? You recorded Ben Grimm? I hate to wake up and find out she was killed in a rock slide.
Rock slide. Yeah. Oh man. Wake up. Oh man. I can just oh man. This man Dark Spectre hitting it. Eruption. Toasty. Toasty. Oh man. Fucking Divatox in her fish fucking burnt to crisp everywhere. I say fish, and I'm talking about her ship. Because she had the little ship underneath the water, the submarine that was shaped like a fish. I'm not talking about anything else, but
okay.
But her boat. Because everybody knows I'm that guy, but I just want to point out that I'm not being that guy in this moment.
That was like randomly in Angel Grove Pond, not in the ocean, not in the sea, but in like random pond in this small town.
No, was it really in a pond?
Son, it was. What was it? If it wasn't in like a pond, it was like in like a swimming pool. Where was the ship? It had to have been in Angel Grove. Angel Grove, we have no fucking ocean.
But it was supposed to be. I thought it was supposed to be like San Francisco. I thought it was supposed to be like based off of San Francisco, like close to the water and shit.
It was it was supposed to be. Yeah, it wasn't No, it was supposed to be in California. Angel Grove was in California.
Mm-hmm.
That was another thing too. That show did not have a West Coast feel to it at all.
Yeah, no, it didn't. It didn't. There was no West Coast feel at all. Yeah, no, it really didn't. I don't know. I don't know. I again, like I said, both fucking all three Power Rangers movies, whether it be the the remake in 15, Mighty Morphin, or Turbo, I there's a lot of shit that I can't get behind for any of them. The one movie that I can 100% get behind is White Tiger.
You have
White. It's a movie. It came out on VHS, and it was sold as a movie. It's a movie. But shit, I can't even say that because again, there's something in that movie I can't get behind.
Sounds like you're doing a lot of whinging for I'm sitting.
Yeah, because I'm really thinking about it. I'm like, shit, I can't really get behind any of this shit. I can't get jiggy with this shit. Because, like, listen, the number one thing in that White Light episode / movie that I can't get behind is the motherfucking theme song. White Ranger, Tiger, Power. Take a few words out of there, son. That's a different story.
Oh my god.
Take Ranger and Tiger out of that.
I think you're overreaching now. You should be ashamed of yourself.
I'm not. That is a legitimate argument that has been had for a long time. That is a joke that's been around for a long time. That shit came real close. Real close. Real close. White Ranger, Tiger, Power. Like, if you look at it, even the way they say it, they emphasize white and they emphasize power. That shit goes White Ranger, Tiger, Power. Like, if you really listen, go back and listen to the song. I'm telling you 100%. They emphasize the word white and emphasize the word power. Everything in between is damn near a whisper. That's all I could hear. As a kid, all I could hear was white power, white power, white power, white power. That's all I could hear. And I'm like, are they trying to tell me something here? Like, y'all know Jason David Frank is Native American to an extent, right? So you literally made him the White Ranger when the white people took over his people's land. Come on now. All right, now I'm definitely stretching. Now I'm just fucking around at this point. I'm definitely fucking stretching. At this point, I'm stretching. But no, yeah, I just if I had to choose between watching Mighty Morphin Power Rangers again and watching Turbo again,
I'm watching Mighty Morphin all day. I'm doing it. I don't care.
Fuck, I guess I'm the weird one. Again, not saying Mighty Morphin was bad.
They had a better budget.
It had a better budget, really.
So what? I don't give a flying Waka Flocka if they had a better budget. All they did was take that movie and piss into the wind.
And yet, Mighty Morphin is a pointless movie because it does nothing.
Listen,
All it did was make the actors super hot and sweaty, give all these young kids raging boners when Dulcia popped up.
So are you taking Ninja over Dulcia?
I think Ninja would beat Dulcia's ass.
Now I asked you, are you taking Ninja over Dulcia?
You need to specify what you mean by taking.
You know what I mean by when I say taking.
You need to specify what you mean by taking.
You know what I mean when I say taking? If there was an issue and somebody needed the smoke, are you taking the scantily clad ninja, or are you taking the big, fluffy, round, robust blue dude who, for whatever reason, could also transform into a Megazord?
Oh, shit, he could. That's interesting. I forgot about that.
I'm taking the blue.
But here's the thing, though. I honestly might have to take Ninjor, and here's why. You know,
yep.
on a serious tip, here's why. Because one, with Dulcia, she can't leave that plane. She can't leave. And then on top of that, the most powerful shit we've seen her do is take on some fucking Tengu. Tengu. Gotta say it right, pronounce it right. Tengu warriors. I don't know why I couldn't say it right today. But yeah, that's the most we've seen her do, and turn into a fucking owl. On the other hand, Ninja, we actually see him put in that work. We've seen him put in that work multiple times.
If you say so.
So based off the burden of proof that is presented before me, the stuff that I've seen Ninja put in more work than I've seen Dulcia put in. So I'm gonna have, and even then, if you look at it, Dulcia didn't do shit but point them in the right direction.
Oh Lord.
Ninja actually trained them in shit like that and gave them the powers.
Yeah, it's in a very
and he fought with them.
Montage.
What was that?
I said in a very special and cute montage.
I don't even remember the montage. I don't remember. Like, granted, in Mighty Morphin, I did like the fact that they had to go get the power, that they had to go find it, and like that whole journey essentially proved that they were worthy enough for the power. I really did like that aspect of the movie. But if I had to really pick, I'd have to go with Ninja in a fight, because, like I said, I've seen him put in that work. You know, I really more so feel like Dulcia popped on the scene, threw a few punches, and then just made the pipes whistle and made them go away.
That's all she needed to do.
No comment. But I'm just saying, in a fight, I'm taking Ninja in a fight. Again, purely based on the burden of proof that has been presented in front of me. If there is something that I find out and read later on that shows to me that she would be helpful in a fight against an actual threat instead of some Tengu warriors, then yeah, I'd go with her. But then I feel like Ninja would be able to help out way more, way more. But so now you tell me, why would you pick Dulcia? Why are you picking Dulcia?
I am picking Dulcia because Dulcia is the surviving member of the Ninjetti. Out of an entire race of people who are master ninjas, who were able to change forms from an animal and channel that animal spirit, she's the sole survivor. That's one.
Okay.
2, she was the keeper and knower of the great power and helped the Rangers on their way, opposed to just handing them to it. Like you said, she pointed them in the right direction. And by pointing them in the right direction, she made them prove they were worthy. Opposed to these niggas who knocked on Ninja's door and was like, yeah, so shit's fucked up. We need this. We heard you got it.
Okay, that makes sense. That's a valid argument. That's valid.
The other thing was, I don't necessarily remember anyone else talking about Ninja ever outside of like the comics. I could be wrong, but even Ivan Ooze knew who Dulcia was.
Well, here's the thing. Here's another thing, a little secret another reason why I'd pick Ninja over Dulcia. Because even though Dulcia was knowing of the power and knew how they could get it, Ninja actually had been taught by the Morphin gods on how to create that power. Ninja is the only other person on Earth that has the knowledge of how to create the power coin, or at least create a conduit to connect to the Morphin grid. So with that more so solidifies Ninja for me. It's never been told if Dulcia had the knowledge to create. If it's not told if she's the one that created this power, or if she's the one that just is guarding the power. Which in more so seems like she's guarding the power, while Ninja can pretty much create the power because he was given the knowledge. The knowledge was entrusted to him by the Morphin gods.
Oh yeah, because Lord knows they don't make mistakes.
Well, that's the thing. They can't make mistakes because they don't get involved.
Mm-hmm.
The only time I have ever seen them get involved is during either Dino Charge. Yeah, it was Dino Charge. But even then, that was the first and only time that they got involved, when they created a new conduit for Rangers.
Weren't they also involved in the whole thing with the Omega Rangers?
I don't know about that. What do you know about that? I don't know about that. What you know about that?
So the Omega Rangers were supposed to be that. It was supposed to be a retcon, basically addressing the whole thing with with Jason, Trini, and Zach. So everyone knows that they went to the quote unquote World Peace Conference, and then we never saw them again because they were touring the world and doing all this good and helping all these people. But in actuality, there's a version of the story where they were summoned off planet to become another set of Rangers to protect another place.
I didn't know about that. Huh.
Yeah, they kept their colors, but wielded slightly different weapons.
Yeah, no, I didn't know about that at all.
Because I was always curious to how that story didn't retcon. That story retconning did not affect the whole Lord Draken thing. That never made sense to me.
Remember, the whole Lord Draken thing is a different dimension. It's a different timeline.
Right. But this whole thing was always that because of this happening, if memory serves me correctly, it was supposed to be that when they found out about Tommy, that they were supposed to go back and try to stop him.
I don't know. See, like I said, there's things about Rangers that even I don't know. Even with like all the knowledge that I currently have, there's a lot that I don't know. I wasn't able to catch that one, that part.
Like whole power transfer thing where they gave the power to where they gave the power to Aisha, Adam, and Rocky was supposed to be a cover for them having to go on this covert mission that no one was supposed to know about.
Oh, so the passing the torch was a kind of like, here, we still need Rangers here because we about to go do some shit up over here.
Yes.
Oh shit! I didn't know about that. I gotta look into that. So now, with all this content that's being that's being brought out right now, like especially with the 30th coming up, the 30th anniversary coming up. Based off the trailer, what are you expecting from this reunion?
I'm expecting one of three things. Is that the initial Power Rangers who are still active, who you are seeing, like we see David Yates and Walter.
Yeah, Walter Jones.
Yeah, Walter Jones. Excuse me. We see that they're still active as Rangers along with Trini. So it's like I'm taking that either the Rangers are back in the rotation, or the same thing happened with the Master Morpher and their Conduit, and their morphers got rebuilt and they were able to reaccess the power grid. And again, who's to say that's even the case? This could be a whole other universe, like you just said. But we got to find out. So I'm thinking that it's one of those things like where, because of them going back into the rotation as Rangers and them still working, that one of those things where you have the people who are still active and the people who aren't. Like we also see Adam and Aisha, but we don't see them as Morph Rangers. We see them as what appears to be founding members of Space Patrol Delta, or some kind of group that also monitors the morphing grid. So who's to say that that's not the case with that? So the other thing I'm expecting to see, hopefully, I would like us to get back to those old school gritty monster fights.
I like the sound of that. I'm definitely not against that at all. Absolutely not against that at all.
Oh, nah, it's gonna be gritty.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's gonna be great because they pretty much show the president. They show the president. This is the first, second because the Pink Ranger and Galaxy technically died.
Oh yeah. So okay, well, so
Trini, on screen.
Yeah, I remember she definitely did die. So now for me, I foresee Trini's daughter becoming the new Yellow Ranger.
Oh, that's definitely gonna happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% foresee that. But other than that, like, I foresee them really more so cracking down on the information about really how Space Patrol Delta came about. Because again, we see they have the emblem on their chest and it says SP. It's not a D. I couldn't really get a good look at the letter. I personally believe it's an A as well. So again, that will be Space Patrol Alpha, the first team of the Space Patrol. But now here's the thing. If they're starting Space Patrol and Space Patrol Delta, Sky, who was a Blue Ranger in Space Patrol Delta, his father was the Red Time Force Ranger.
He was a Red Time Force Ranger. He wasn't necessarily the Red Time Force Ranger. Because you gotta remember, the Red Time Force Ranger that we see is Wes. And Wes wasn't technically the real Red Time Force Ranger. He stuffed in ancestor or descendant.
Descendant.
So,
Descendant. Yeah.
that's how he unlocked the Morpher. So once again, just like how we had multiple Mighty Morphin Rangers, there's no Sky's father could be a Red Time Force Ranger. He just might not be Wes.
Yeah, he's probably West or. But here's the thing. No, he died though. So in Time Force, when they end up, having a fight with what's his name, Rancor? Rancic. When they had the first fight with Rancic, he sacrifices himself to save him. So they go back in time, and accidentally going back in time, and they get stuck back there, and that's like, holy shit, this guy looks just like, what was his name? They said his name multiple times in the show. But yeah, no, like they that's how they end up finding Wes. So it's a possibility that it could in fact actually be Wes.
That's a possibility. I wouldn't be overly surprised by it all.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, it could very well be on one of Wes's descendants. That's just so happened to not be. Well, one just happened to look exactly like him, like he did with his descendant and shit like that. Maybe not the one from Time Force. Maybe it's somewhere before Time Force. Because again, now my question is, now if they're really serious about tying all these different Rangers together, I would like a time frame. You know what I mean? I would like all right. So Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, this, and then in the timeline, all right, this happens. Then this happens, and Space Patrol Delta comes about because of this. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, all right, well, that does make sense, but it's just like how look at Time Force. Time Force, they were time travelers, so they were established God knows when, and then came back. And then if you watch Lightspeed Rescue, they specifically created their morphers for that team. They were scouted and recruited, opposed to being hand plucked and trained.
Mm-hmm.
Like we picked you specifically for your skills and your character.
Now, here's another thought. Could this lead into the events of Operation not Operation Overdrive, of the events of RPM and Beast Morpher?
I wouldn't know. See, I have not watched anything past I have not watched anything past Space Patrol Delta. Mystic Force, I watched the first episode, totally lost lost me, and I never again.
Mystic Force, I personally would say push through, because that's the only other time I feel like thus far, well, at the time in Power Rangers history did we see the Rangers lose. Like, and lose badly.
We see the Rangers lose badly.
No, I'm talking like they. Wait a minute. No, we see the Morphin Masters in Mystic Force. Or were they just the Ancient Wizards?
Ancient Wizards.
Really? Because hold on. Hold the phone. Hold on. No, because I remember how they looked, and based off what I've seen in the comic books for how the Morphin Masters, I'm sorry, not Morphin God, the Morphin Masters look. Give me a sec. I gotta pull a little Snoopy on this one. Hold on. If I could spell
GED dead.
Ridiculous. Without pulling up the actual whole video, images. of the ancient Rangers, though the ancient sorcerers or whatever the hell they are. I will say, I did like the Mystic Force Battleizer.
He was a dragon.
The Mystic Force Battleizer, he was dead at. He was a full on fucking dragon. He was a full dragon. I'll be nice if I finish the name, but yeah, I swore that we saw like at least a glimpse of what was the Morphing Masters, because they go there and they're like, well, you have failed, you have had your powers taken away from you, whatever, and then they end up talking them into being they pretty much giving them their powers back. Or no, they actually tell them no. They tell them no, you need to go get your powers back, and they send them back as humans, and they refuse to help them. Because I remember they were all sitting on this on this podium or whatnot, looking over them. Damn, I'm gonna have to actually pull the episode up in order to find it. I don't feel like doing all that right now. I'll give everyone an update later on, because I really think that we got to see Morphin Masters before Dino Charge or Dino Fury, whichever one. There's a lot of dinos going on lately. Now, I don't know. I'm interested because I really need a timeline, because if I remember correctly, SPD takes place in 2023? I don't think so.
Wait, no. You said SPD takes place in 2023?
No. I don't think it does, but it takes 2025. So it takes place 25 years after the event of the previous season. And what was before SPD? Down Thunder.
Mm-hmm. Tommy was Dino Thunder.
Yeah, it was Dino Thunder. Yeah, well, that's why they did a crossover. Mm-hmm. So it takes place 20 years after Dino Thunder,
which is 2005.
Yeah, which is 2005. So now we got to watch this to see when this takes place. So then we'll be able to get a decent timeline of, all right. So now you're telling me Mighty Morphin was still going on. The Mighty Morphin Rangers were still doing their thing while Dino Charge was going on, while Vice Speed Rescue was going on, while Mystic Force was going on.
Well, hold on. You also got to remember, the Time Force Rangers.
The spots in the cities. Each city of each Ranger team takes place in.
Each range. Yeah.
If you pay attention.
That is right, but still, so you're telling me that our original Mighty Morphin Power Ranger team has been out here Power Rangering
for over 30 years, technically.
For technically over 30 years.
Sounds all right.
Interesting. That's interesting.
Because Billy went to a different planet.
Yeah, Billy went to a different planet, and I would like to see them build on that a little bit more. I would like to learn something about that. Yeah, and doesn't he have a kid with her?
I don't know.
I don't know, but yeah, I know Billy leaves for Aquatar, and so I don't know. This is so many questions, so many things that happened towards the end of Mighty Morphin. Right before the start of Zeo, because Billy,
mid-Zeo he left.
At mid-Zeo he left because it was Turbo then Zeo, right? No, Zeo and then Turbo. Zeo then Turbo. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. There's so many questions I want to answer. The one thing that gets answered for us is what happens to to the character of Trini. And we end up finding out in the trailer that it was Rita who, in fact, killed Trini.
Yes.
And from what I was getting was like her daughter was upset with the Rangers for not, essentially putting her ass down, and she wants revenge. So I think she's gonna steal the saber-tooth tiger morpher and try to go at it herself. And then they all have to team up and work together, and woohoo, we had a big team again.
In that scene, there was that whole team. It was a full all six.
Yeah. Six. There was one scene where they were running, and there was an actual Green Ranger with the shield.
That was running the fight with Rita. The introduction sequence, when she was rolled behind, you see when they pan out, it's all six.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Was it really all six? I only remember seeing Billy in the blue. I remember seeing Zach in the black. Because I do remember seeing all six in like the run. There was like a scene when they were running towards the camera with the fire behind them.
And then in that scene, they're looking at a cliff edge, and then the Ranger's missing. Right after that.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that's when that happens. So I think I think that's a flashback to when they actually lose Trini. Mm-hmm. But my thing is, wait, so you're thinking that fight where the Green Ranger's there and stuff, you thinking that fight was at the beginning where they lost Trini?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That would be interesting. That would be very, very interesting.
Yeah, explain how those powers came back though.
That's the big thing for me. What about you? What's one question that you would like them to answer in this reunion?
That whole thing.
Why Rita
getting restored? They said they couldn't restore those powers ever again,
and they keep doing it. This is the issue I was saying before. They said they could never bring it back, and they keep doing it. This is the issue I keep saying from before. And we kind of with the Master Morpher. So is everybody running around with Master Morphers now? No. The question I want answered is why the fuck does Rita Repulsa like she's a member of the Machine Empire?
That's a good one. I thought the same thing. I thought the same thing. I think that might.
And that Zordon thing is canon still. The glass is broke. We seen the thing of the Zordon tube is broken in the scene. We see this tube is broke. In the trailer and in the command center, that tube is broke. So we know that happened. So we know space happened.
Oh.
We know it happened.
Yeah. But even then, here's the thing. So I feel like this goes back to Forever Red. They never beat the Machine Empire. They let them run.
Well, no, Rita and Zed set a bomb to him, if memory serves me correctly, and like blew him up.
But the robots.
They got destroyed. When that glass got broke, all of them got taken off. Yeah, she blew them up.
I don't remember that. I don't remember them saying King Mondo did, though. Like you said, they're not human. They're technically machines. So, because in the Forever Red episode, some of their generals still survived, and this is why they had the whole thing with them trying to stop them getting Serpent Terror. And we still never. Did they blow up Serpentera in Forever Red?
They did. They destroyed Serpentera in Forever Red.
Yep. Yes, they did.
Now I'm thinking about it. They most definitely did. Who was it? The fucking the Red Wild Force Ranger. The Red Wild Force Ranger, who is now in prison for running his neighbor through with a fucking sword. Well, his roommate through with a sword. He used the Wild Force cycle and did some Sonic shit and like hyper speed and like threw Serpentera and blew it up and destroyed Serpentera.
Gangsta shit.
Dead ass. And then he gets arrested for running his roommate through with the katana, killing his roommate with the katana. Yeah, things seem to kind of end bad for some Power Rangers, because like if you look at it,
Tren car accident.
yeah, Tren car accident, right? That was the first, and then we got the Red Ranger from Ninja Storm. We got Austin St. John going to prison. Jason David Frank took his own life recently. Who else?
I think that's it so far.
Yeah, I think that's it so far. Unfortunately, I hope it's no more because that's just fucking tragic.
Oh no! Don't forget about the Ninja Ranger, the red one.
Oh, the Red Ninja, the guy, the person who played the Red Ninja Ranger, they passed away because she was a woman. The Red Ranger, the Red Ninja, Ninja?
What's the dude? No, it's an Indian dude.
Wait. No, I talked about him. Ninja Storm. Yeah. He took his life after abusing his wife. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, the Ninja Storm Ranger. And I do think that's it right now. And again, these are all horrible tragedies, that have come to these these actors. It's pretty messed up. Hey, hell, Andros got fat, so.
Oh my god,
bro! When I first saw a photo of him, years and years and years after that, I didn't even recognize him. I didn't even know who he was. Because he has like changed so drastically. But I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of things that are going to be answered in this, but I'm also skeptical because I feel like it might fall short. Might. I think it is. Very, very, very like a 1 to 2% possibility that Netflix fucks this up.
Nah.
Listen, I think it's gonna be one of those things like we're gonna enjoy it because it's part of our childhood, but I don't know. There's a lot of room for error here. And here's another thing too. You've got Rangers who are on screen together who have never worked together.
That is true. Because Rocky and Zach weren't on the same team.
Right.
It was Rocky and Aisha.
Mm-hmm. And we already seen that they're down to Yellow Ranger, so
and that was my thing. Why couldn't Aisha just pick it up?
Maybe she's got other responsibilities. Maybe she can't just drop what she's doing.
That's a possibility. And again, these are things I can't wait to see. I want to see like what brought Adam and Aisha to create this organization for Space Patrol. Because this clearly so I feel like it's clearly going to open up with the death of Trini. And then we're going to catch up with the Rangers years later. Like they defeat Rita, but we catch up with the Rangers years and years and years later. And they're all kind of off doing their own thing or whatever. And then end up getting pulled back into Rita's BS when she comes back with a new body. It's definitely courtesy of the Machine King or the Machine Empire in general. She's definitely giving off Machine Empire vibes.
Mm-hmm.
So
we're gonna call it M.
Like a time machine to go back in time.
Oh yeah, and she's building a time machine right now to go back in time and kill the Rangers before they became Rangers.
If they were smart, they'd go back in time and stop her before she ever got released by the astronauts.
Yep, just push them all off the moon. Boom. No, you're going to leave this alone. This is not to be touched. Or just make sure both astronauts are black. Yeah. I don't know. I'm interested to see what this 30th anniversary has to offer. Power Rangers is it's so near and dear to me. Like I said at the beginning of this, it's honestly formed me into a bit of the person I am today. Um, I don't know. Do you got any final words to add about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, bro?
It was a big staple of my childhood. It means a lot to me to see that it's still going. Hopefully they can course correct the stuff that's going on with the current series, but
I don't know. They're under new management now, so we don't know how these guys are gonna take it. We see what's going on with DC under new management. So there might end up being some big changes because I heard that Netflix and Nick now.
Nope,
No,
Hasbro. That's
Hasbro.
100% Hasbro and Netflix working together. Nickelodeon has nothing to do with
So
it.
I know that there's gonna be two different series running at the same time that kind of corresponded with each other. One on Netflix was gonna be a little darker and be a little gritty, while the other one would be more upbeat, lighthearted, like regular Rangers.
well, like I said,
This is the start of it.
and do it well, I'm all for it. Like I don't think the reboots they did for like Are You Afraid of the Dark was terrible.
No, I haven't seen the reboot yet.
Really?
But again, I don't feel like this is a reboot either. I feel like it's just a long awaited continuation. Because it's the same characters, all the same events happened. It's just this is kind of like the aftermath of like how they've grown to deal with what they had been through.
And ain't no one got PTSD.
But
I wouldn't say that they might.
I think it's gonna turn out good because to get David Jones and Walter Jones, those two to come back.
Yeah,
especially David Jones. You know how much he went through. He got bullied bad.
Yeah, that is
For him to
true.
come
So
back,
it
it must be a really good script. It has to be something really good for him to come back.
Or they offer to produce his script for him and like, yo, do this movie for me, do this for us, and we'll promote the script that you're working on.
Yeah, each one teach one.
Yeah, one hand washes the other. They both wash the face.
Jinx, you owe me a soda.
God damn it. You're lucky I just went and bought sodas. You know what? I got this nasty ass black cherry flavored Storts pop in the back, and I ain't trying to drink. You got that?
The fuck? So what? I just draw the short straw and get the nasty shit.
You said a soda. It is soda.
Okay, all right. Listen, don't piss down my back and tell me it's rain.
You got to be more specific with your wishes here, man.
Oh, okay.
All right. I'm just saying. Shazam.
Turn into a gin.
I'm just saying, I just got to bobble my head and Shazam. You're getting what I got. But no, I just got like a can of like Dr. Pepper, strawberry and cream or whatever. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. I'm about to try one of these shits. But honestly, yeah, I can't really say much else besides, Power Rangers is amazing. It was amazing. The new shit that they got going on, to me, I feel like it's subpar. But again, it's not for me. These new Power Rangers, they're not made for me. They're made for these new kids. So I can't really speak too hard about it. But yeah, that's the show, guys. That's today's episode. The very much long-awaited Power Rangers episode. We're gonna do more of these. I want to dive in. I want to do maybe every month, every other month, maybe just do a Power Rangers episode about a different team.
Not against that.
Yeah, well, maybe a little more sporadic than that. Yeah, maybe every other month, or maybe just a few times a year. We talk about a different team of Rangers. Because again, each one of them has their own their own ups and downs and own crazy ass stories. Like hell, like I said, my favorite is Lightspeed Rescue. Coming in second, Lightspeed Rescue and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers are tied for number one with me. And then number two going down, I would say would be Lost Galaxy. And then underneath that would be In Space. But trying to pick the two, yeah, I don't know. The Powers in general, it's great, guys. It's not just for kids either. So get it together. I hope that this script for the 30th anniversary is kind of gritty and it is kind of dark.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody in between, all of our level 7s out there. This has been the Super Breakdown with your hosts Power Maximus and Lord Triage and our special guest Jag, our Power Ranger expert for the night. Ladies and gentlemen, we seriously thank you guys for watching. I definitely want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Dubby, Crashless Jitterless Energy Drink. I stand by it. It's helped me out in some really tough spots, and it tastes great too. So check out the website, www.w.gg. And definitely use the code that's going to be coming up on the screen here. You get 10% off your entire order, not just a little bit of order, not just a piece of the order. No, the entire order. You get 10% off of it. So by all means, please check it out. Get yourself some W. Keep yourself awake. If you're a gamer or if you're a businessman or if you got other things going on, you need that extra energy without the crash. Definitely check out W. That's www.w.gg. And guys, we're out of here. Until next time.
Remember what time it is.
Always. I carry that thing on me. I wish a putty would. I wish a putty would try to pop out on me. It's on. It is on. Elevator going up.
Elevator going down.
Damn right.
So talk about a splitting headache.
Oh, man. He definitely had a nice trip. I hope she's able to see him next fall.
Yeah, big facts.
All right, guys. Peace. And remember, stay frosty.